You're watching high school football on MyTV 30. Tonight brings us to the hills of Williamson County as we cross the midway point of the regular season in one of the most electric environments that Tennessee has to offer. The Ravenwood Raptors have their unbeaten record on the line against the battle-tested CPA Lions. On the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. That is the former Vanderbilt Commodore Bruno Reagan. I'm Lucas Panzica. We're excited to be here. This homecoming crowd at Ravenwood is excited to be here, Bruno, as Ravenwood has been dominant this season. Off to a 5-0 start, CPA 1-4, but don't let it deceive you. The Lions have had one of the toughest schedules in the country this season.
Absolutely. More from us tonight on their out-of-state schedule that they have so far and their opponents. But make no mistake, you're going to watch two of the best teams in Tennessee play tonight on Friday Night Rivals.
Now, we've got Power 4 prospects, an elite environment in the mid-state, all the ingredients for a mid-season thriller. So let's look at the keys to the game. CPA going to play keep away tonight. Head coach Ingle Martin told us this week, our best defense will be keeping the ball on offense.
Absolutely, especially in that first and second quarter. The word of the day is efficiency. Your first down can't have penalties, can't have negative plays, got to stay ahead of the sticks, stay in the line, multiple first downs, rack up that time of possession, and then you can look for your explosive plays in the second half.
Ravenwood is going to ride the hot hand. You know, they say if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. Try telling that to the Raptors, who are 18-1 in their last 19 with the 2 QB system.
Absolutely. You're going to get to see a bit of a unicorn here tonight on Friday Night Rivals. Very rarely do you see a football team have two quarterbacks and be successful. 18-1 with their dual quarterback system, obviously led by Femi Babalola. It's going to be an exciting time to watch it tonight.
Well, it takes us straight to our key players tonight. The CPA Lions come in with number 1 wide receiver, wearing number 1, Owen Cabell, the senior, committed to play for Alabama. He's had a big year against some elite defenses.
Absolutely, and I'm no expert, but Alabama comes out of the woodwork to offer you and accept your commitment instantly. I have to imagine you're a very high-level player.
And with Ravenwood, we mentioned the dual quarterback system. Femi Babalola gets the start tonight, having a big year, airing it out, approaching 1,000 yards at the midway point.
I feel like I've grown up with this young man. Ever since I started Friday Night Rivals, he's been starting for the Ravenwood Raptors. Now he's obviously in this two-quarterback system, but I got to see him growing up. And now he's committed to Boston College. He's going to be a big-time D1 football player. He's going to be our player to watch tonight.
That's right. Future BC Eagle Femi Babalola. Going to be a fun one tonight. This crowd is ready to rock and roll. So let's bring in the third member of our crew. Sammy Kincaid gives us an injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bart Durham injury update, let's start out on the CPA side, and it is a very short list because there is no one out tonight for the Lions. And switching over to the Ravenwood side, also a very short list with only one player out tonight, and that is number 77, two-way starter on the line, Cooper Midget. He's out with a torn Achilles that he suffered during fall camp. That's your Bart Durham injury update. Whenever we come back from this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, the anthem moment. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Week 6 in Brentwood, Tennessee. The Ravenwood Raptors ready to put on a show in front of a packed house and a homecoming crowd. But the CPA Lions stand in their way. It's public versus private. Two championship contenders facing off tonight at the midway point of the season. Kickoff in moments. But first, let's go down to the field for the Tennessee Army National Guard coin toss. Our white hat tonight is David White, handling the coin toss between Christ Presbyterian Academy, the Lions, visiting the Ravenwood Raptors. In a highly anticipated matchup in the mid-state, two teams that expect to be playing for a TSSAA title in their respective divisions by the end of the year. CPA winning the toss. They want the football on a beautiful night under a picturesque sunset in Williamson County. Couldn't ask for much better. 72 degrees, clear skies in Brentwood before the third ever meeting between these two teams. Series is tied up at 1 from a home and home back in 2019 and 2020. And it's that type of game. Bruno Reagan joined me in the booth. I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down to the sideline, where you just have loaded rosters on both sides of the field. Not a region game, but a measuring stick opportunity in Week 6.
And everyone's healthy. These teams are starting to come into their prime. They know what they do well. The weather is in that sweet spot of beauty. I think this is as close to heaven as someone can stop.
No doubt about that. Carlos Guerra teeing up the Greenway Kia kickoff to get us underway. CPA 1-4 against a brutally tough schedule. Ravenwood 5-0, testing an unbeaten record. Guerra, the senior kicker, swings his right leg through the Greenway Kia kickoff, and it's going to bounce out the back of the end zone over the head of Rawls Patterson, the return man, as well as Owen Cabell back deep, the Alabama commit, wearing number 1, and we're going to get to see the CPA Lions offense, a group that has run into some struggles, but again has faced some of the best defenses in the country. Led by quarterback junior Jack Van Norman, first-year starter. And Bruno, he's just gone through a ringer when you talk about the defenses he's been matched up with. Tupelo, one of the best teams in Mississippi. Baylor and Chattanooga just this past weekend has handled himself well.
Absolutely, shown a lot of poise, and this is a chance to get back into the mid-state and start building your team into a big win column.
I mean, 9 touchdowns, I should say, to 1 interception, but he'll hand off for the first play from scrimmage to Rawls Patterson, the senior back. Burrows under a pile, picks up 4 on first down. And that'll bring us to the starting lineups presented by BMC Metalworks here at Ravenwood tonight. The CPA Lions. Get a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. 2nd and 6. Van Norman in the gun. Looks one way, looks right, guns that way, and just misses his target, looking to send it down to the right side for Wright Martin, the sophomore and son of head coach Ingle Martin in his 15th season at CPA. 5 state championships in that time. Is that good?
Absolutely. That's about as good as you can get.
CPA doing it in D2 AAA this season, facing Ravenwood out of Region 6 in the 6A class in Division 1. Third and 6 on the 24. Ravenwood crowd making noise early on the opening series. Van Norman has a pocket, steps up, gonna run. The junior scrambling, has the first down as he's knocked down across the 35. Jack Van Norman, not much of a runner, picks up the BMC Metalworks first down. Not that he doesn't have the athleticism, played wide receiver for this team last year, but picks up a big first down to move the chains on the opening series.
And size can be deceptive on television, because you look at Van Norman running through right here, and he's about a head higher than everyone else. He's going to be a physical guy to get down if he does get outside the pocket. It's a good job by him picking up the first down on the spot.
1st and 10 after the 13-yard scramble by the junior QB. Handoff up the middle. Patterson bouncing off of tacklers. Let's take a look at the starting lineups presented by BMC Metalworks as Patterson picks up 4. CPA coming in with quarterback Jack Van Norman. Owen Cabell, number 1, the Alabama commit at wide receiver. Ravenwood head coach Ricky Rodriguez told us this week, Bruno, we have got to let somebody else beat us tonight. They're going to be all over number 1.
Absolutely. If he has the opportunity to get out into the open field and create space, he's going to be a problem. So look for them to really key in on that tonight with the line in space.
5 touchdown catches on the season. Future member of the Crimson Tide, Owen Cabell, the speedster. But they're going to keep it on the ground on 2nd and 6. Patterson, who came into the game with 60 carries on the season, averaging about 6 yards per carry. That's the best play in terms of run stopping by the Raptor front. No gain, 3rd and 6.
Key of the game for CPA coming in was to be efficient, especially in this first and second quarter. You got to stay ahead of the sticks. They're not going backwards, but they're not necessarily picking up enough yardage on those first and second downs. You want to be in about 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. That can really open up your playbook, spread the defense out. Those run plays will be a lot more successful with the unstacked box. CPA is struggling with that in these first 2 series so far.
Jack Van Norman barking orders. 2nd, 3rd down of the series for CPA. They'll screen it out. Patterson looking for room on the sideline is bumped out into a sea of Raptor jerseys. He is short. It'll bring up 4th down, and an interesting decision for head coach Ingle Martin. As we'll take a look at our defensive starters presented by BMC Metalworks, a group allowing less than 2 touchdowns per game. It's a good front. Rohan, McCollum, and Moser, the 3-man defensive line, but Matt Anderson, the senior, wearing number 7, midseason defensive player of the year for the Raptors. He's already racked up 5 sacks, 12 TFLs.
Yep, in that 3-4, your heavy lifting is going to be done by the linebackers. The D linemen in this sense are kind of the defensive O linemen. They don't get a lot of credit, but they take up the bodies.
And looking for a stop here, Bradshaw Klein under the pile, gains half a yard and won't get even close to the line to gain. The Raptor defense getting off the field on the opening series, and you can sense the energy in this building on homecoming.
CPA trying to extend their drive by going for it on 4 just before the midline of the field, and they have a direct snap. It goes a little bit high, and there's just way too much backfield penetration. As an offensive lineman or a blocker in that circumstance, you need to fall forward to the line of scrimmage. I saw about 4 white jerseys about a yard in the backfield, nowhere to rush that football. Turnover.
So here's Ravenwood with Boston College commit Femi Babalola at quarterback, swarmed quickly on 1st down and sacked near midfield. Big response by the CPA defense, sending Ravenwood marching backwards, a loss of about 1.5 yards for Babalola, who at this point, Bruno, has been starting games for this team for 3 years now. The senior, and we've kind of gotten a first-hand look here on Friday Night Rivals, watching his development year over year as a passer.
Absolutely, and this is his senior year now, so he's going to get a chance to really put a stamp on it here on Friday Night Rivals.
On 2nd and long, Babalola drops, will tuck and run, leaping over the 45. Only picks up 3. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
Pretty interesting design there. It looked like it was a set quarterback rush out of the pocket, but the offensive linemen not going upfield.
Timeout on the field. Ravenwood taking an early one to talk about this 3rd down, and when we come back, we'll bring it to you. Scoreless early here in Williamson County on Friday Night Rivals. Our national anthem moment presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. And I'll tell you what, when you talk about elite environments in Tennessee high school football, it's hard to find any that beat what happens here at Ravenwood High School, especially on homecoming night. So it is a treat to be here in week 6 with you on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth with you. Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline. A packed house here in Williamson County. CPA visiting Ravenwood, the 1-4 Lions, and the 5-0 Raptors. Third down, first one of the game on the opening drive for the Ravenwood offense after getting off the field with a 4th down stop. 3rd and 8. Femi Babalola alone in the backfield. Gonna tuck and run. The senior quarterback trips forward. Will be short of the first down. And we've got a 4th down decision here as we look at the Ravenwood offensive starters presented by BMC Metalworks. Babalola gets the start tonight at quarterback. We will see Maverick Chance, who enters the game now. Caden Pace, the lead running back. Cy Longley has been the go-to receiver in what is a deep wide receiver room. Early movement, no flag on the 4th down.
They have to make contact. The CPA's defense has to make contact. If anyone on Ravenwood jumped, it would have counted against CPA.
Maverick Chance in the backfield and getting the carry. The Navy commit is popped. Nowhere to go. Hit and dropped. John Spears Walters, the safety, gets there first. And CPA takes over on down. So the Lions get the football, stopped on 4th down. Ravenwood gets it, rinse and repeat. And it's CPA back with it in the first quarter.
I don't think we've seen anything like that here on Friday Night Rivals. Go for it on 4th down, go across the field, go for it on 4th down. Both of them stopped. Really good job by both defenses. Ravenwood, they would have had that penalty there. All it took for them was to jump.
Look at the CPA defensive starters who just got that big stop. That linebacking duo of Crew Chance and Pep Patterson, the heart and soul of this defense, going to have to play a big role, and they just did on the opening series for the Raptors. CPA screening it out on 1st down and hammered in the backfield, dropped for a loss. Jack Van Norman to Owen Cabell, the Bama commit. He had nowhere to go. James Nelson shot out of a cannon from the defensive backfield.
James Nelson was one-on-one with a man on the edge. He beat the blocker with all the space required and was able to get a full head of steam to cut away the field.
So it's a loss on 1st down. They're going to go right back to Cabell, this time on the left side of the field. Can't let him get loose. Down the sideline inside the 25. The Alabama commit with a chunk play, 40 yards for a BMC Metalworks 1st down, and we're going to see a lot of that tonight from CPA.
And I would say that's a mistake. A CPA is running up the lineup quick, but they left Owen Cabell with so much field, so much space, and a lead blocker. You can't do that. Ravenwood specifically said they have to have someone other than Cabell beat them tonight, but that's too much.
CPA going tempo here on 1st down. Rawls Patterson tumbles down after picking up about 2. Helmet came off. He'll have to leave the field for a play. And that is the spark that CPA has gotten from Owen Cabell all season. And we've talked about their schedule. We'll talk about it some more. But he's also done it against some future Power 4 defensive backs, guys that he'll be facing in the next couple years at Alabama. But getting him out in space is the goal for the CPA offense tonight. Pickup of 2 from Rawls Patterson. He's replaced by Klein in the backfield. Handoff will go to the senior. Dropped. No gain on the play. And here comes another 3rd down for CPA.
They're going to have to rely on Jack Van Orman and his passing tutelage. We saw in that first series that he was able to roll through his progressions well, but he overthrew his receiver just by about a foot in front. So CPA will have opportunities to throw the football just by putting it on your target.
3rd and 8 for the Lions on the edge of the red zone. Van Norman rolling right, plenty of time. Wants to throw under pressure, and he's not going to escape it. Hit for a loss out of bounds. And it's a 4th down for CPA. Jack Van Norman had all day to throw. Ravenwood plastering in coverage.
Dan Norman, when you have that rollout, that flat's obviously there. If you take a look at the bottom left of your screen, there was a lot of space between Van Norman and his back who rolled out. He had the open pass, but he was trying to hold on for a bigger play. Ended up taking a loss.
So Cam Holliday, the senior kicker, will come out. This is very well within his range. Hasn't had a lot of attempts, only one, and he missed it. But this one from 40 yards, it is a line drive and off the mark. It remains scoreless here at Ravenwood High School on homecoming night, and the Raptors will take over.
That's also a problem of running out to the hash. Whenever you're in a field goal situation, you're setting your kicker up from a very bad angle, an angle that they do practice, but it's not the comfortable position that they want to be in. So not too much going right for both of these offenses so far, Lucas.
Great energy in this crowd as we're across the midway point of the first quarter. We'll be right back. Ravenwood takes over on offense.
Welcome back to Ravenwood, where they are currently hosting CPA, and I am joined by Staff Sergeant Daniel Friesen. First off, thank you so much, Staff Sergeant, for your service, and thank you for joining me here tonight. And can you tell me how the Tennessee Army National Guard is different from other military branches?
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for having me. So the good thing about the Guard is it's state and federal focus. 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks in the summer, which allows you to really pursue any goals that you have outside of the military while being able to serve. So it's kind of the best of both worlds.
And you kind of just hinted at it. There's a lot of jobs you have in the National Guard. So what kind of jobs can you have?
A ton. It pretty much covers a wide gambit of different varieties. We have anywhere from engineer corps to infantry, military police, IT, medical. So really it's there to fit the bill for whatever it is you're trying to pursue.
That's fantastic. So many different opportunities. I want to talk about the benefits whenever you're in the military, but what benefit is specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
So for us, the big thing that we offer is the Tennessee Strong, which covers any in-state tuition at UT Knoxville is our highest rate that we cover. So obviously, if your goal is to go to college full-time, you can still serve in the Guard while going to college full-time, and we'll pay for it.
That's fantastic that they're able to do that for so many different people. And thank you again for your service, and thank you for joining me tonight. And thank you to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, up to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Sergeant Freeze. First quarter action here at Ravenwood in Week 6. We are scoreless.
I'll see you again next year, I'm sure.
And the defense for both teams so far has been the star of the show, still early, as Maverick Chance gets his turn at quarterback for the Raptors in this dual quarterback system. And it helps to stay ahead of the chains like that with a running back like Davis Dolan jetting up the middle to move the chains.
This is what we're talking about. We see Maverick in at quarterback. Ravenwood, our key to the game for them is they're going to ride the hot hand. So if Maverick has Babalola on his last series, they go on a 4th down stop, turn the ball over. Maverick, if he's able to keep up this level of production, they might keep him in for a few more series.
The Navy commit at quarterback, play action here. He fires a bullet to the right side intended for Cruz Kelly. Incomplete. The two seniors can't connect, but we're going to be calling a lot of Ravenwood names at wide receiver. It's the deepest room on the football team, and Ricky Rodriguez is really happy about the group he has there. In his first year as head coach, taking over for Will Hester, who stepped down. The California native, loving life in Middle Tennessee with the high school football roots, especially here in Williamson County. Maverick Chance, a fantastic runner, He is wrangled out of bounds as he crosses the 35. Chance his 28th rush of the season. That picks up 3, gives him 197 rush yards on the year, 4 rushing touchdowns, but kind of brings everything that you would want out of a Navy quarterback, right? Can put the ball in the air, but a tough kid, a good runner, and good at reading defenses, and helps to be a leader when you're going to play for a military academy.
Absolutely, and you'll see military academies rushing on 3rd and 7 with their quarterback, so I would imagine that Maverick Chance has that opportunity here as well.
We'll see what the call is with 7 to pick up. Chance is going to throw over the middle, just off the hands of his tight end, Charles Block. Brings up 4th down. For the first time tonight, a punt team will come out onto the field. Jack Henderson, the senior punter for the Raptors.
Somewhat of a breakdown of protection. Only 2 rushers do get home to Chance, where he should be in that pocket all day. But when I mentioned earlier when we were coming into this game, these teams should be coming in their prime. They should have a lot of poise. The offense right now is leaving a lot to be desired. I know it's only the first quarter, but a lot still to clean up.
Henderson has had an average of just over 37 yards per punt. Danger there for Cabell. He's able to save possession, but is hit immediately at the 20. So CPA gets it back, less than 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. CPA will take over in their own territory. Ingle Martin in year 15 as the head coach of the Lions. You talk about a football career encapsulating every level, Bruno, from Florida to Furman as a quarterback to the NFL with the stint there, and then 15 successful years leading the CPA Lions. This season, he's doing it in D2 AAA, and it's quite the slate the Lions have had early on in the season for a 1-4 start. As they'll play action in here, Van Norman under pressure, able to escape it, bombs away, looking for Cabell, right in the basket. Caught and tackled inside the 10. Wyatt Appleton saves the touchdown. 72 yards. Owen Cabell getting behind the defense.
What an absolute bomb. First of all, a great throw by Van Norman. And this is why Cabell was our player to watch. University of Alabama, you have something to look forward to. Able to create that level of separation and track the football over your shoulder.
Quick to CPA, Patterson across the block.
Sorry, Lucas, I never want to interrupt your mojo, but CPA...
Please. I'm just here to listen to you talk.
Absolutely. Well, and that's good of CPA. That's a high-level football thing. Whenever you have explosive plays, you want to run up to the line when the defense is trying to adjust, sometimes sub in personnel. So that was a good way to get them off guard. We are on the goal line now. 4 to go.
Getting a look at that track speed from Owen Cabell in the 72-yard completion. And now CPA going to perhaps try to play some bully ball on 1st and goal. 2nd and goal for the Lions. Giving to Patterson into the pile. Did he get there? Yes. Rawls Patterson just down at Ravenwood. Touchdown CPA. It's the first rushing score of the season for Patterson, and the Lions are on top. A South College touchdown. South College, where dreams find direction.
Rawls Patterson in the state of Tennessee has been such a productive back. It's good to see him get back into the end zone on the ground. Long line of Pattersons that have played here at CPA.
Cam Holliday knocks the extra point up and in. And the Lions draw first blood. 7-0 with less than 2 minutes to go in the first. Sparked by the 72-yard completion to Cabell and Rawls Patterson. He's been doing this for a few years in a Lions uniform, but first we'll get a look at that deep ball to Cabell.
It's such a good football play, too, because if you're a quarterback at any position and you have a player like Cabell on your team, you absolutely just look for that man no matter what. He's going to get open, and Rawls, I know, is going to get. Look how physical it was. The first quarter is always physical. Now, can both these teams stay?
D2 AA state championship last year. Almost set a record. Had the 3rd most rush yards in TSSAA championship history with this 336-yard, 4-touchdown performance in a win over BGA to bring another ring to Presbyterian Academy.
You could give me an hour and I couldn't run 300 yards.
A lot of yards.
I would be winded after the first 90.
Yeah, you mentioned the lineage of the Pattersons coming through CPA. His older brother Kane going through Clemson and Vanderbilt. Another older brother Langston currently at Vanderbilt. And Rawls certainly getting some collegiate looks from the likes of App State, Army, Bowling Green. Has a very bright future at that position. Greenway Kia kickoff fielded near the goal line. Looking for a seam across the 25. Cy Longley. And they'll bring out the Ravenwood offense. Now looking for an answer.
Switching off, looks like it will be led by Femi Babalola this series.
Let's run down to Sammy Kincaid to hear a little more about Rawls Patterson, who just scored that opening score.
Yeah, guys, you just saw Rawls in action, and him and his brother Preston Patterson, they call him Pep. They are the last of the Patterson boys, and head coach Ingle Martin said he wishes that wasn't the case. The Patterson boys have a long track history with CPA. Oldest brother, Kane, he was a freshman in 2015 to 2018. Langston Patterson, now at Vandy. He played from 2019 to 21, and then Rawls and Pep were freshmen in 2022, and this is their last season. And they lead as the leading rusher and leading tackler, respectively. If you're not tracking those years, 2022 is the only year since 2015 over the span of over a decade that the Pattersons didn't heavily contribute to CPA's production on the field. It's absolutely amazing what that family has done for CPA.
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. You saw Rawls and Pep there, the twin brothers on the right, Langston in his Vanderbilt uniform. The Patterson family has been good to CPA football, no doubt about it, in the Ingle Martin era. As Caden Pace has dropped for a loss.
Don't worry, in 15 to 20 years, I'm sure we'll get about 8 more Pattersons running through the CPA line. You might be calling games for the Cardinals by then or something. I'll still be here probably, though, so I'll make sure to bring up the old days.
I don't know about that, but we did talk to Ingle Martin about that. If Rawls is indeed the last Patterson, he said, I hope not. We'll see. Babalola on third down for Ravenwood. Swings it out to the left side. He connects, but it is short of the first down. Able to find Jeremy Ramsey, the junior. But it's 4th and short. And another punting situation for the Raptors. Just unable to string together first downs so far in the first quarter against CPA.
Yeah, they haven't been able to put together. There's we call them NAs, right? Either missed assignments or critical errors. That's where we're dropping passes or they're a little too far ahead. We can't have those all the time.
Get the punt off before the quarter buzzer sounds. Nobody back deep to receive for CPA, and it'll be down at the 27 as the Lions will get it back after putting together a scoring drive here on homecoming night at Ravenwood High School. CPA up 7-0 on Friday Night Rivals right here on MyTV 30.
Welcome back to Ravenwood High School, where CPA is currently leading the Raptors 7-0. Start of the second quarter. And we've been talking a lot about the difficulty of CPA's schedule to start the season. 4 of CPA's first 5 games were against teams in the top 70 in the country. Coach Ingle Martin told us the perspective is that you're going to get beat, and when you play at that level of competition, they played a number 1 private school and the number 1 public school in the state of Tennessee. They've also played the number 1 team overall in the state of Ohio, as well as the number 1 team overall in the state of Mississippi, which, if you're keeping track, that's 360 schools in Tennessee. Ohio has over 400 and Mississippi at 250. That's a lot of teams to be number 1 over. When you're playing that, you have to keep perspective. Head coach Ingle Martin said, we believe we're within the top 10 teams overall in our state. There's different parts of different teams that you just look at and say, wow. And I think these first 5 games will help us the rest of the season. Guys, up to you.
Yeah, good point, Sammy. Don't look at that 1-4 record for CPA to start the season and be fooled, as it's a screen out left side. Cabell, dangerous when he gets loose. We've seen that tonight. He gallops across the 45 near midfield for a Bart Durham injury law first down for the Bama commit. 21-yard pickup. But Ingle Martin's been doing this a long time, Bruno. 15 years as the head coach of the Lions. And he's seen some good teams. Said they have watched or played against the best offense and the best defense that he's ever game planned for as a head coach this season.
Absolutely, and you could just tell them the way they're warming up. I've been a part of some 1-4 and some winless teams. I'm not going to say who I was with, but I was a part of some bad teams for a little bit. And you can kind of see the spirit leave those teams. When I was watching CPA warm up, it was just a well-oiled machine of guys who know that they're great football players. So props to Coach Ingle Martin for getting these guys as prepared as they are for this midway point of the season.
Well, it takes a mature football team to be able to handle that early season adversity, right? Sammy mentioned that word perspective. It's been a common phrase in the CPA facilities as of late. Ross Patterson battles across midfield to set up a third down. And it's not like it gets easier at the D2 AAA level. You look down the stretch, CPA going to finish the season with a trip to McCallie in Chattanooga, who just went and beat the number 6 team in the state of California, the home state of Ravenwood head coach Ricky Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's also been such a cool thing to watch in the past, 10 to 5 years, where Tennessee has really branched out and they're going to try and find these teams in these other states and get some national noise. So that's been an awesome thing to be a part of as a mid-state guy myself.
They've seen a lot of future Power 4 talent so far this season. That doesn't change tonight against the Raptors. Big third down for the Lions, who lead it by 7. Quick throw left side, Cabell. Getting a lot of work in the first half. And it's another first down for the Lions. We saw the 72-yard dime over the top from Jack Van Norman to Cabell. That one goes for 12. And he's up to 5 catches already, 145 yards on the night.
You know, Lucas, we had our call pregame, and we wanted to try and change it up because we were talking about, well, we could say that all we have to do is shut down one. So that would be our second key for Ravenwood, other than riding the hot hand for the quarterbacks. And, man, they're really not getting it done trying to guard Cabell. Cabell's having a night so far as we're just starting the second quarter.
Has a touchdown in every game so far this season. As CPA looking to double the lead on this series, going with Ross Patterson, who scored the goal line touchdown to put CPA up front. Lions coming off a 48-7 loss against Baylor, who has 12 Power 4 prospects on offense alone. I mean, you can't even field all 12 at one time. So that's what CPA's been dealing with. For Ravenwood, a 5-0 record, certainly they don't have slouches on their schedule in reaching 6-6A with some Williamson County powerhouses. Back to Patterson. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage and then hit down by Nelson.
But you can just tell, at least from us up in the booth, we're not surprised with CPA and the current score and the way that they're playing. You look at that 1-4 record, it's a lot similar to last week with East Nashville. I mean, these two teams are just going out and trying to find the biggest and the baddest, and they're fighting and they're playing. And they're competing with all these teams. They're competing with all these teams at a high level, currently up on Ravenwood, one of the 6A powers in Tennessee. Nothing shocking for Coach Ingle Martin.
3rd and 4. Van Norman over the middle, completes it. Wright Martin moves the chains. Spotted at the 24. And CPA now starting to put together the kind of drive that Ingle Martin was talking about as a big point of emphasis this week, staying on the field. Going quick, back to Martin, the tight end. Stiff arm into the red zone. Dragged down across the 15 by Peyton Busa.
Anytime you see CPA start that hurry-up offense, I would imagine they're about 70 to 80%. Not even looking at the statistics of that wide receiver screen pass. They have Martin, who's a size mismatch, and they have Cabell, who's a speed mismatch, and you can go either way depending on what hash you're on.
Stay tuned. The United States Navy halftime report coming up. We'll highlight this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, have participating school administrator interviews, much more still to come. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Jack Van Norman calling out orders. Fakes to Patterson, gonna keep it himself, and Ravenwood was not fooled. But on 2nd and 2, he might have enough depending on the spot. We'll see if they'll come out to measure. No. 3rd and short for CPA.
Looks to be about inches, Lucas. So could be a potential 2-down situation if CPA wills it. They do have the ability to kick it. One missed field goal on the night, though, but it was a long one off that hash.
This is Patterson making a move. Rawls Patterson to the pylon. Touchdown, Lions. The 1-2 punch. Cabell and Patterson taking it to the Raptors defense in the first half. Another South College touchdown by CPA. South College, where dreams find direction.
Rawls Patterson, I understand your game. A lot of people might look at Rawls Patterson and say, this guy, watch right there on that. He has such a strong center of gravity. He has great balance, great core. He's able to attack angles and move off a dime laterally and still get vertical. His center of gravity is his strength back by far. He just showed it in the open field there.
Extra point is good, and Rawls Patterson has doubled the CPA lead. Ravenwood will once again look for a response when we return on MyTV 30.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
CPA in control early on. This Ravenwood homecoming crowd waiting for the Raptors offense to bring a spark, because right now it's all CPA Lions. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. Sammy Kincaid on the sideline. Glad to have you with us on MyTV 30 after a 10-play, 73-yard drive. Rawls Patterson with his second score of the night. And we've been talking all game about CPA's schedule. 1-4, might be the best 1-4 team, not just in Tennessee, but in the country, Bruno. They're proving that right now in the first quarter.
Absolutely, and the three players we knew coming into the game would be the ones to watch, are the ones really putting up the work right now. Rawls Patterson and Owen Cabell with that early strike in the first series scored for them, and Jack Van Norman leading this highly efficient operation on offense.
Greenway Kia kickoff will be a touchback. Longley wanted to bring it out, unable to do so. Patterson and Cabell, the two stars tonight for the CPA offense, have combined for 187 total yards Ravenwood, as a team, has 31. How do they get going here on 1st and 10?
Well, they've had the opportunities. I think both Babalola and Maverick have had chances to connect with receivers who have spacing and are open, but it's just been off the tip of the fingers, or it's been a foot away. So it's sometimes the receiver's fault, sometimes it's the quarterback's fault. You got to play 11-man football. That's all offense is about.
We're going to go back to Maverick Chance, the future Navy midshipman at quarterback on this series. Chance pitches. This is Dowland. And he picks up a couple. The speedier of the two running backs. The duo of Caden Pace and Davis Dowland. Both have played a lot of football for this team. Dowland, the senior.
You can see it's a sort of triple option. Good job by Maverick Chance to get that ball out, but CPA is reading their keys very well. They have to prepare for two different quarterbacks, two not totally different systems, but different plays in the same system.
Chance, quarterback draw, down at the 25. That is the challenge for CPA or anybody defending Ravenwood. And a big reason why they're off to a 5-0 start with this 2 QB system. You got to come up with two different game plans defensively.
But CPA, they're playing so not passive, that's not the right word, but they're only rushing 2 to 3 guys every series. Like, that was a 2nd and long, so they assumed that CPA might send some guys up the field, and they're not. And they're still getting pressure. They're still covering the flats. They're covering every gap, so it's just hard for Ravenwood to get anything going if they can't pass the football.
Chance over the middle connects, and it feels like a much-needed first down there for Ravenwood over the top to his running back, Davis Dowland.
Great job by Maverick Chance to get the first down. Ravenwood desperately needs any field position. Even if they don't score here, they have to flip the field for the CPA offense who's rolling. And this is a good job starting to create that hot hand. Maverick Chance has been performing a little bit better tonight.
Gain of 6 to number 6. And we talked about riding the hot hand at quarterback for Ravenwood. Femi Babalola got the start, the Boston College commit. But they're sticking with Chance here. And on the option play, he finds a seam across midfield. Maverick Chance inside the 25. Patterson with the tackle to save the touchdown. 48 yards. That one play surpassing the total yardage Ravenwood had before that snap.
They might have just stolen this play from Navy, where Maverick Chance is currently committed 6 feet, 210, and that burst of speed on the edge, taking it to about 4th gear. Not necessarily 5th gear, but it was a good 4th gear speed. Ravenwood now in the red zone, able to respond after CPA goes up to the scores early.
CPA takes its first time out of the half in response with a 14-0 lead. Head coach Ricky Rodriguez couldn't say enough about Maverick Chance and his quarterbacking partner Femi Babalola, the way they've supported each other in this system. And that's easy to do when your counterpart's making plays like that.
Absolutely. Great block up there on the edge, too, by Cy Longley, the senior receiver. It takes 11 men, and Cy Longley gets the job done there on the edge to spring Maverick Chance out.
We talked about this a lot last year, talking to former Ravenwood head coach Will Hester, who brought along Ricky Rodriguez to be his offensive line coach. Rodriguez now leading the Raptors. Maverick Chance, a certain comparison to another legendary Navy quarterback. Maybe he'll be our UA Local 572 player of the game. We'll tell you in the 4th quarter. But Coach Hester would compare him to Keenan Reynolds. Local product, Goodpasture High School, had a legendary career at Navy. Do you see that parallel a little bit?
Absolutely. They're two different players, but they're going to play in the same sort of... they're going to ask to kind of morph into the same players.
We'll keep it on the ground with Dolan across the 20. Ravenwood now going run heavy here in the 2nd quarter.
Going to try, it's a weird spot as we see the Ravenwood student section getting into it. There is not a better spot in Tennessee high school football to go to than Williamson County, specifically Ravenwood High School.
No matter the record, always a party out here at Ravenwood. Giving Caden Pace a turn. Patterson brings him down. So the Raptors keeping it on the ground on this drive, but now in the red zone and facing a 3rd down. What do you like here if you're offensive play caller Hayden Davis and Ravenwood?
Well, I would like to convert this first down and still take off some time on the clock, right? So you still have the opportunity to rush the football on 3rd and 4. You have the quarterback Maverick Chance in.
And early movement will certainly help. If it is on CPA, Ravenwood will have a free first down.
That is encroachment on CPA, so it will be a first down for Ravenwood. I would say keep it on the ground here. Either you score or at least the clock keeps going, so that way CPA doesn't get a chance to have a lot of time on the clock left for another series before the second half ends.
White hat Davis White on the call. Time-consuming drive for Ravenwood. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Looking to get on the board. Chance straight into a pile. CPA ready for it. He's pushed back. A flag goes down. Eli Dickey finishing off the tackle. And we'll see if the call is against the Jacksonville State baseball commit, the senior Lion.
I mean, it will be. That face mask was clear as day. I don't even need to speculate or wait for a referee.
I was doing the thing where you leave any room open, but you're right.
No, that.
Defense number 10. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Replay first down.
I mean, everyone on this side of the football field saw it as clear as day. You can take a look right here. And he held on to it for a solid 10 seconds. Usually the guys would put their hands up and be like, no, sir. I mean, you can see right there, a little bit too physical. He knew he was grabbing his face mask. It is a very easy thing to grab. And what's funny is the referee that saw it didn't even call it.
Yeah, no hiding that one. Maverick Chance has a goal-to-go situation. Pushing the pile. Touchdown, Ravenwood. Maverick Chance fired up coming off the field. And the Raptors aren't going anywhere.
Can't say I've ever seen that one, Maverick Chance. You surprised me, youngin.
A South College touchdown where dreams find direction. Bully ball from Ravenwood.
Absolutely. You can see number 22 there. Grant Lucas, bring the linebacking junior in 5'10", 215 to lead in on that fullback position. Maverick Chance gets Ravenwood on board.
Carlos Guerra with the extra point, knocks it through. Ravenwood gets 7 on the board and some momentum here at home on homecoming. CPA will get it back when we return. This is Friday Night Rivals on MyTV 30.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners Sonic, Tennessee Army National Guard, South College, Bart Durham Injury Law, Western Kentucky University, BMC Metalworks, Wilson Bank and Trust, Josh Houston and Associates, and UA Local 572, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. CPA, Ravenwood High School.
And the Raptors have some momentum. Maverick Chance, talk about riding the hot hand. The Ravenwood quarterback with a 49-yard rush and a goal line touchdown to put the Raptors on the board. Went straight to the sideline to wrap up that hand, but if you know anything about Maverick Chance, you probably doubt he's leaving this game anytime soon. 8-play drive, 80 yards, 3:26 off the clock.
Exactly the answer Ravenwood needed. You don't want to say must score, but CPA had all the momentum, so that was a good way to bring it back. There's still 3.5 minutes left on the clock before the second half. CPA is going to receive. Time for the Ravenwood defense to step up like they did in that first series to force that fourth down stop.
Greenway Kia kickoff. Cook Kia says every deal's a touchdown. Shop Greenway Kia, Victory Hollow, Rivergate, or Franklin. GreenwayKiaNashville.com. Carlos Guerra. See if he keeps it away from Bama commit Owen Cabell, and he does. Fielded inside the 5. Rawls Patterson going to make sure Cabell gets his hands on it. Wheeling across the 20. Cabell, burst of speed across the 40 and out of bounds. But there is a flag trailing the play. Just one of those guys that we're going to see this season on Friday Night Rivals, Bruno, that every time he touches the ball, you're going to hold your breath a little bit.
And we'll wait for our official call right here.
During the return,
So it is a holding. Take a look on the right side of your screen now. The end man on the line of scrimmage blocking for CPA right here, number 40. Yup, on that breastplate and pulling and restricting. That's Luke Morrow. Takes away a big gain. I don't know if I just must have not been paying attention because we covered CPA a few times, and I don't remember Cabell being such an elite talent on the edge right now. But he's come up out of nowhere in my eyes.
Has been on the track scene for quite some time at the high school football level, but certainly is a name that has become a household name in Middle Tennessee on the high school football scene as Rawls Patterson carries up the middle. I mean, it's really, when you look at CPA, it's number 1 Owen Cabell, it's number 2 Rawls Patterson. They're getting them the football, and it works. Why are they able to get those guys the ball as often as they do, as Jack Van Norman steps up on the play action and throws an interception? Picked off, coming down the sideline, and tripped up inside the 10 is James Nelson. So we'll hold that thought as Ravenwood is in position to tie this thing up.
Well, I was going to mention that CPA has mismatches that Rawls and Cabell can work off of, but right there you saw Jack Van Orman. Anytime you see a quarterback step off their feet for that flying throw, I always gets me I start to cringe up a little bit, and of course, there's just not a lot of power on the throw, and you can see the Ravenwood defender just step right in front, Nelson. So watch Van Norman right here leave his feet, and it's a lob ball. There's no strength there. And a great job by Nelson just to step in front of it. That's a freebie. He does trip on his own defensive lineman. Not able to finish it, but Ravenwood's offense, only 9 yards to go.
Trying to get it to Griffin Gagliano. Femi Babalola on the field for Ravenwood. The Boston College commit now getting a turn at quarterback. And able to get inside the 5 on the run. Van Norman throwing only his 2nd interception of the season. And they've touted his maturity all year long with the amount of elite defenses he's faced. We'll try to shake that off, but first Ravenwood looking to cash in.
And that's just tough in the situation he was in, right? Like, they could have gone to halftime with the lead at least or flipped the field, but that interception just puts Ravenwood right into the goal line.
We'll put it into the belly of Caden Pace. Wide open lane. Touchdown, Ravenwood. The 3rd touchdown of the junior season, and the Raptors dig out of a 14-0 hole, an extra point away from a tie ball game.
Just like that. Football is a game of momentum. I'm thinking in my head, CPA might go up 21-0 here before halftime strikes, and just like that, Ravenwood comes back and says never say die right before the half.
Carlos Guerra knocks it in. A South College touchdown where dreams find direction. Caden Pace, he's been toting the rock for this team since his freshman year, and the junior ties it up.
Great job by the Ravenwood offensive line. You can see how big of a hole they create off of the down blocks and the kick.
Fired up after the score. And we're all even. 14 apiece, under 2 minutes to go in the first half. And now this is looking like the powerhouse matchup we expected in week 6.
Absolutely. We did have that slow start as we take a look at Ravenwood and Caden Pace, after that score. A lot different energy on the sideline, a lot more smiles. Those first 2 series from both teams where they had the first down outs, Ravenwood specifically, they took him a while to keep going. Maverick Chance gets his number called on a series, goes down the field, and then Femi Babalola able to convert on the red zone turnover.
Head coach Ricky Rodriguez, his coaching staff, with a Ravenwood team that is just chock full of upperclassmen. 40 seniors on this roster. Pace, a junior. He'll be back next year. But you talk about a player-led team and culture. 40 seniors will do it.
And you have to imagine these young guys will see how these seniors do it. And then when it's their turn to be upperclassmen, it will be like no one ever left.
Quickly, another Greenway Kia kickoff for Carlos Guerra. And he'll kick it back to Patterson. And he'll take it out. This time Patterson will keep it across the 25, over a man and down, and about the 31. Ravenwood crowd objecting, saying that he caught it in the end zone. It should have been a touchback.
There was some feet in the end zone, but whatever the referees call, you play. And Rawls Patterson able to get a little bit of air right there. Yeah.
That's a hurdle.
That is, if there were half hurdles, that's what I would call that, all right? But there's not.
2-minute drill for CPA. 2 timeouts here. Trying to regain some momentum on the road against an undefeated Ravenwood Raptors group. Patterson gets the feed. Picks up 2 or 3 on the play.
Not a big sense of urgency from CPA, especially after that turnover. They might object to just go into halftime with this score and not air the ball out too much after the, not to be too explicit, but a disaster play last series.
Well, CPA won the toss, elected to receive to open the game. Ravenwood will start the second half with the football. Patterson, wide open hole across midfield and tangled down in Ravenwood territory.
Look for CPA, Lucas, but look for CPA to get on the ball quick. Now that they have that field position, they're going to start to up the pace and get on a sense of urgency. Quick one-word play calls. A great job by Patterson. Watch that center of gravity I talked about earlier.
25 yards. Quick screen here out to the left side. Wright Martin, the sophomore tight end, son of head coach Ingle Martin.
So you mentioned earlier, how does CPA, how are they so successful? And everyone knows Cabell and Rawls Patterson are going to get the football. Well, with Martin right there, it's a mismatch on the edge, right? And you saw it earlier. So when they run those hurry-up screens to Cabell, Martin's on the other side, and that gives them an option with a bigger body to at least gain 5 to 6, and that's something that defenses have to prepare for.
Gets out of bounds and stops the clock with 48 ticks.
Before we were rudely interrupted by Ravenwood taking the game back with that interception.
Yeah, James Nelson with the interception and run back to set up the Caden Pace game-tying touchdown. Back to the ground here. Spin move. Patterson got the Xbox controller out tonight, and he's down at the 30.
What is the button? B?
That's B, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while.
Someone younger than us, correct us now. I can't believe I'm saying that. B, that's the spin button.
I don't remember hurdle.
I don't remember hurdle either. I don't think they even had those programmed in the games. But take a look at Rawls Patterson right here. They have the lead blocker, and actually it goes away from the player he's supposed to block. That's number 7, the Mike, that CPA is supposed to block. But Rawls Patterson is just bouncing off men. He's single-handedly kept this drive alive here in the under 2-minute section. A Ravenwood player down. Looks like he's able to get up. That is James Nelson, who had the interception last series.
Yeah, important player, starting corner for this Ravenwood group. Moments away from the United States Navy halftime report, highlighting this week's Sonic Scholar athletes, participating school administrator interviews, plus highlights from here and across the nation and more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Got a Navy commit playing tonight, and Ravenwood quarterback Maverick Chance, who had the first touchdown of the evening for the Raptors. But it is CPA with the football. 2 timeouts. Clock runs now after the injury. Van Norman going deep. Broken up and incomplete. That is Gabe Cabell, the intended target, the younger brother of Owen Cabell, looking to make a play on the ball.
That was broken up by Wyatt Appleton, the senior defensive back. Under 55 pounds in the opener, but able to adjust his body. A good shot by Van Orman right here. And it looks like that Cabell comes down with it, but you see the hand there by Appleton, able to break it up just enough and save a big-time play for CPA.
Major defensive effort there from Appleton, and CPA will take a timeout. With 24 seconds remaining, that'll leave them with 1 in a tie game, end of the second quarter. Again, Ravenwood will get the football to start the third. So, head coach Ingle Martin talking to his offense. Kicker Cam Holliday has range. Ingle told us this week, we'll try a 60-yarder. So what's the mindset here if you're CPA and you're trying to put the ball in position to go into halftime with the lead?
Well, Ingle Martin probably has a lot more experience handling overall offensive procedure than me, who was just a brute gorilla up the middle taking orders, right? But I would imagine remember, the reason that CPA missed the first kick, right? I think it was a little bit of the angle. So we will run Ross Patterson up the middle, tell him, hey, even if you're gaining yards, try and go up the middle, and then you can use that third down to take a shot. You get one shot before halftime. And then fourth down, you eventually wind up in your field goal position if you don't score.
Jack Van Norman threw an interception on the last drive, trying to lead his team. At the end of the first half, in a hostile environment, homecoming night at Ravenwood. Fakes the give, under pressure, lets it go. And his tight end, Wright Martin, has been the recipient tonight, and multiple flags go down. That's going to be a late hit against the Raptors.
Some audible yelps of agony and despair here from the Ravenwood sideline on the potential penalty. It could give CPA plenty more shots. 16 seconds is a lot of time when you're in this field position in this current situation going into half.
5-yard gain could turn into a 20-yard gain. That's caught on Peyton Husak, middle linebacker for the Raptors. An important player, senior leader on this defense. It's a Bart Durham injury law first down, just like that. CPA inside the 15.
You just hate to see that because it was a close call. It was a close call, but you do have to be smarter than Husak there on the edge.
Van Norman towards the end zone. One-handed snag. Wow. Weston Williford. Somebody call Sports Center. That's a South College touchdown for the senior wideout, his second of the season, and CPA on top with 11 ticks to go in the second quarter.
The point to go, winding up. I'm so glad Weston Williford said, hey guys, I'm here too. You don't just need to talk about Rawls or Cabell. I'm a big-time playmaker as well.
His 5th catch of the season. Holiday turns it into a 7-point CPA lead. A gutsy drive from the Lions. Let's get a look at it.
Take a look at Van Norman. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. He was going to give his senior a chance, and you can see right there, he gets his eyes on the ball. You always tell guys, right? Two hands, but able to soften the impact of the football and just cradle it up in. That was on Wyatt Appleton, who had the great pass breakup. But off of the penalty that Ravenwood just gave up there, it sets up another opportunity to essentially get 2 or 3 more shots in. And that's just a hard one you can't defend all the time.
And how about the response from Jack Van Norman after an interception that Ravenwood turns into a game-tying touchdown to lead CPA down the field, and a touchdown pass to put the Lions on top.
This is how you know you're watching high-level football teams. The last 2 minutes of any game feels like it could be 30 minutes, right? That's how you know. At any time, these teams are going to fight for every blade of grass, every inch. There's always a chance for the worst-case scenario. Whatever may happen will happen, and these two teams are proving it tonight. After a lackluster first quarter, the fireworks have been shot out.
12-yard touchdown, and the Greenway Kia kickoff comes with 11 seconds left. Out the back of the end zone by Cam Holliday. Ravenwood's got 2 timeouts, 11 seconds. and a quarterback with a rocket arm in Femi Babalola, who's headed to Boston College. How aggressive do you anticipate the Raptors being here, knowing they will get the ball to start the second half?
I think knowing that they get the ball in the second half, they're just going to opt for the clock to go out, run it down, and get to halftime, especially with how back and forth this game has been. They're going to want to reset it.
So they'll run out onto the field, actually with Maverick Chance at quarterback.
You never know with the rushing threat like Maverick Chance. You have to be careful, too. We saw Ross Patterson in those more prevent-style defenses was able to get ahead of steam going.
But he'll take a knee, and he'll take us into halftime. 2 quarters down. This matchup is as promised. State championship contenders facing off outside of region play in Week 6. CPA will carry a 21-14 lead into the break. The United States Navy halftime report is just ahead, and we'll hear from CPA head coach Ingle Martin here in a moment. But that looked like a battle-tested football team, Bruno, the CPA Lions.
Absolutely, coming into the game. And it just shows that when they do make mistakes, how easy they can to get back to the middle, right? They're never too high. They're never too low. They're always operating at a set standard. That's a good job that Ingle Martin has done. So we'll send it down to the field with Sammy Kincaid and Coach.
Coach, a statement there to be able to go up by 7 to end the first half. Kind of what's your thoughts on how those last 2 minutes went?
Ideally, you don't throw the interception that puts the defense in a bad spot. But I thought the offense did a great job responding. Rawls did what he's done for the last 3 years for us, popped a couple runs, got us down there close, and then Jack makes a great throw, and Weston Wilford made an unbelievable catch. So we're excited. Obviously, you got them 14-0, and they're back in it before you can even blink, really. And, they're a good football team. We've got to come out 2 more good quarters to play.
We've talked a lot about how your team has really been challenged up to this point. How do you think that's going to help them here in the second half?
Yeah, we've definitely been challenged this year. Proud of our kids for fighting, but we're excited to play a good football game against a good team. Ravenwood, Coach Rodriguez do a great job, so we're looking forward to these next 2 quarters.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sammy. Head coach Ingle Martin and his CPA Lions lead Ravenwood on the road 21-14. The United States Navy halftime report next on MyTV 30.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
We're proud to present the Sonic Scholar Athlete of the Week. This week's Scholar Athletes are Ava Metters from Christ Presbyterian Academy and Avery Brown from Ravenwood High School. Ava has a 4.37 GPA, is a 4-year varsity soccer member and current captain, and national merit semifinalist. Avery has a 4.23 GPA. She's a multi-sport athlete including soccer, track, and flag football, and is part of the Freshman Mentorship Program. These All-Stars are now entered to win a $10,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Sonic Athletes of the Week. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
Welcome back to Ravenwood, where they are hosting CPA, and I am joined by CPA's headmaster, Mr. Nate Morrow. And thank you so much for joining me. What an exciting first half. I know you got to be a little excited right now, right?
Absolutely. First, just want to say thank you to My TV 30. The way that you all take the time to showcase high school athletes doing what they love in different communities, we so appreciate it. So I'd love to see a girls basketball game of the week. I also want to say thank you to Ravenwood. Dr. Pam Vaden is the best, and she's one of Tennessee's greatest educators. And this community's been so hospitable to us. And so thank you to all of them. And yeah, this is so exciting. And, I just want to give hats off to Coach Engel Martin. The last time we talked, it was in the state championship. And now we're 1-4. And I just want to kind of take a second to say that he embodies the philosophy of athletics for CPA, where our purpose really is to disciple young men and women, to teach them that their value and identity is declared by God himself as their creator, and as they submit to him, they can live in the reality of an identity that's declared and it's never earned. And when you know that your identity is not earned, and on your best day and on your worst day it is the same, then things like a scoreboard or the record just aren't as important, because you can be free to compete the best you can, but you can surrender at the end of the day regardless of the outcome, because your position in him is secure. And so watching Engel go from our head football coach and also now our athletic director to watch this going on in our girls sports, soccer rolling, volleyball's rolling, cross country, and watching how they are discipling young men and women to be what they're all going to be, is husbands, wives, leaders, moms, dads, and that they can bring that same philosophy into all of those future roles is just so fun to watch.
Well, I can tell you from the My TV 30 crew, we've heard from a lot of coach calls, coaches modeling their programs after what head coach Engel Martin is doing at CPA. So that speaks volumes.
It really does. And it's if you get to know him, you just know it's a genuine thing. It's just who he is, and it's coming out of his own story. And, if you go back 15 years, the coaches spent 3 years working through their own stories, knowing that if they put their value in the outcome of this game, then that's going to translate to the kids. So they really spent the time as a team working through their own stuff, their own journeys through athletics, their own places of identity, so that then you can't take anybody where you've not been. So the leaders have to lead. And they say all the time, like, to be a man, you have to see a man. To be a woman, you have to see a woman. And so he just is committed to modeling that and living that in all of his different roles. And so it's a genuine thing. And so it's the greatest compliment when somebody comes to him and says, hey, how are you doing this? And it's more about, well, let's talk about your own story and how the gospel will intersect in that.
Absolutely. And whenever you guys are doing good things at CPA, you see a lot of buildings going up. I hear that you got a new facility coming this winter, right?
We do. We are so thankful to our community and the support of our community. We're opening up a brand new athletic facility. We're hoping in January to get some of our basketball season in there. We have not built something, a gym, since 1994. We had about 500 kids then. We have about 1,400 now. We did a school first. We did the art center next. And so it's really fun to sort of put this crescendo on our campus master plan. But ultimately, I told the kids, it's a facilitator. A building's a building. It's a facilitator for what the people get to do inside. And we're sort of a community and a culture built on its people. And so it's fun to watch them know that they're going to have the opportunity and the access of what they need to do their job to the best of their ability.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much. It's always great to catch up with you during halftime. And thank you so much to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back from break, we're going to have a whole lot more for you. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to Ravenwood, who is currently hosting CPA, and I am joined by the principal at Ravenwood, Dr. Pam Baden. And thank you so much for hosting us tonight. It's always great to be this crowd. The environment is always incredible at Ravenwood.
Well, this is homecoming too, so we have a big crowd tonight, and we've practiced. I think one of the cool things about our community is that we do everything like in a team. So like to get ready for tonight, we had the football coach, the cheerleaders, the dancers, the band, the student section leaders, and we all decided to play this out tonight so we'd be very effective cheering for the Raptors.
Yeah, no, and I saw another familiar face on the sideline cheering for the Raptors. Well, Hester's back. You got a new head coach this year. Coach Hester had a lot of success here, though. But how excited are you? It's almost like a new chapter.
It is. And Coach Rodriguez is doing a wonderful job. The thing that's so interesting about Coach Rodriguez, he's not just a football coach, he's a real school person. So he's involved in so many aspects of the school, which really makes it special.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking just a little bit ago, and something that's really special that Ravenwood does is donates a lot of money to Make-A-Wish. Tell me about that.
That's another thing we do as a team. Instead of having individual groups raise money for different charities, we decided the whole school would get behind one charity to really make a big difference, and that's Make-A-Wish. And so every year, I think we've been doing it for 14 years now, and every child that we have sponsored and granted a wish is in remission. So Make-A-Wish calls Ravenwood their lucky school. So all of the students participate. And we started out with renting costumes, like Disney costumes, because that's where we usually send the students to Disneyland. And now we own all of the costumes, and each year the students take turns when we bring the little child in and we grant them the wish to go to Disneyland. They're all dressed up in all the characters, and it's very, very special.
That is really special, and donating $20,000 in 1 year is incredible, and I can't imagine how that impacted those families. But also another thing that's really great at Ravenwood is the jazz program. Tell me about your jazz program.
We have a jazz band that just practices after school, and they're so dedicated that they were invited by TMEA this year in the spring for their state music conference to play, and that's a very big honor. So I have to give a big shout out to the jazz band, and Rob Fay is the instructor.
Well, it sounds like a lot of really great things going on at Ravenwood. And again, thank you so much for hosting us tonight. It's always a pleasure to be here. And thank you so much to Western Kentucky for this Educator Spotlight. Whenever we come back, Lucas and Bruno, they're going to have stats, highlights, a lot more for you. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University. You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
We've got a thriller on our hands in Week 6. Two state championship contenders facing off. CPA leads Ravenwood 21-14, and this is our favorite game on Friday Night Rivals. Bruno Reagan, what kind of moon is that?
Oh, that's the waxing crescent right there.
You heard it here.
Waning crescent, excuse me.
Bruno Reagan, an educator, letting it know how it is. It's a beautiful night in Ravenwood. We saw the sunset over the hills, one of the most picturesque scenes in all of high school football, in a waning gibbous crescent, is what you said?
I don't know what it is, Lucas.
Okay, let's talk about the first half. Ravenwood trailing 21-14 at the break to CPA. And look, back and forth, CPA early control of this game, 14-0 lead. Ravenwood rallies to tie it up. CPA with a 2-minute drill at the end. Let's look at the first half highlights. It was the Lions getting it done on offense early on.
Yeah, who else? Van Norman going up to our player to watch, Cabell creating that separation. He is the Alabama commit and the go-to guy on this offense, other than Rawls Patterson also hammering it in. CPA goes up early, 14-0. Ravenwood, at one point, these three players between quarterback, receiver, and running back had 180 yards. Ravenwood only had 30. So we see Rawls Patterson getting into the end zone once again, but Ravenwood was not going to go down quiet. Started off with an explosive play by Maverick Chance, able to get Ravenwood onto the board.
And that made it a 14-7 game late in the second quarter. And then CPA quarterback Jack Van Norman heaving it downfield. It was intercepted. Coming back the other way was James Nelson. And just like that, the sudden change, Ravenwood with a chance to cash in, and they did with the handoff up the middle to Caden Pace.
Absolutely. Babalola got his number called, the Boston College commit, and Pace able to finish off that series off with the turnover, but it wasn't over yet. There's still time on the clock, and Van Orman goes up to the senior Weston Williford. CPA up 21-14, excuse me, Lucas.
Minute 43 off the clock in that late second quarter drive for CPA to take that 7-point lead. And look at the first half numbers, rushing almost dead even, 92-93. There's a clear difference here, Bruno. Quarterback Jack Van Norman making it happen in the air for CPA, 183 pass yards. Ravenwood, just not a lot of balance right now offensively.
I think this tells the story perfectly because, if anything, CPA, they look like the better team. The stats say they're the better team. Ravenwood, they did yank momentum there, and especially from a critical mistake out of CPA's quarterback, Van Orman there, an unusual one. But if CPA and Ravenwood both come out, Ravenwood will receive the football to come out of the second half. I still expect it to be a close, competitive game, but so far in the first half, CPA looked really, really good. So that early season slate that they had out of state really has helped them out.
That one turnover had a big effect on the first half, helped Ravenwood get on the board again to get to 14 points, and this game is as promised. The United States Navy halftime report continues in a moment, but first, each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we showcase outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. So let's check out some of the best from last week's action.
The best Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Angel's gonna run it. Case and Angel, first down and more. Case and Angel, midfield, still on his feet. There he goes. He's off to the races, and no one's going to catch him. Touchdown.
He doesn't see Holloway coming right there.
Oh,
yeah. Yikes. Lands on his head.
Fourth down, they're going to keep the offense on the field, going to the end zone. This ball's up for grabs. Jump ball, and it's caught. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it is.
Hula again.
Going to see how he's doing and figure things out.
A high snap way over his head. Again, a fine play, but he's in real trouble. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, just thrown down. And how about this? It's going to be chalk-jaw ball inside the Synovus red zone.
Plenty of time towards the end zone. And it is caught. Caught it is. Jari Moore Stewart with a fantastic catch in the end zone, and it's a Reaper's Revenge touchdown for the Panthers.
To keep the Mules undefeated. Walker Bryant to hold. The kick is up. It is straight. It is perfect, and it is good. And the Mules walk off with the win at Lenox State.
Coach, what an exciting end to the first half right there. A couple of big explosive plays that really changed things. What was your message to your team in the locker room?
I mean, we've been here before. I mean, the first couple games of the year, I mean, same situation. When you have two really good high school football programs and a great atmosphere like that, I mean, you're going to have swings of momentum. So just settled our kids down a little bit. They're super excited to play this game, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
And what did you see in the first half, though, for adjustment-wise to really make sure that you're moving the ball offensively and not just relying on some of those explosive plays?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have yet to establish the pass game. I think we've had some success in run game. You know, Mavs had a big run there in the second quarter, but we just need to stay consistent. We got to be able to throw the ball to get those guys out of the box and just keep them at bay.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Ready for second half action. Homecoming night at Ravenwood High School, and the Raptors testing an unbeaten record against CPA, who leads 21-14 at the break. Let's go down to the field. Sammy Kincaid alongside Ravenwood head coach Ricky Rodriguez.
Coach, what an exciting end to the first half right there. A couple of big explosive plays that really changed things. What was your message to your team in the locker room?
I mean, we've been here before. I mean, the first couple games of the year, I mean, same situation. When you have two really good high school football programs and a great atmosphere like that, I mean, you're going to have swings of momentum. So just settled our kids down a little bit. They're super excited to play this game, and I'm looking forward to the second half.
And what did you see in the first half, though, for adjustment-wise to really make sure that you're moving the ball offensively and not just relying on some of those explosive plays?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have yet to establish the pass game. I think we've had some success in run game. You know, Mav had a big run there in the second quarter, but we just need to stay consistent. We got to be able to throw the ball to get those guys out of the box and just keep them at bay.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Ravenwood head coach Ricky Rodriguez in the Josh Houston and Associates Coaches Corner, one source, Scholastic Product Experience. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you in the booth. The Greenway Kia kickoff being teed up by Cam Holliday. Ravenwood down 7 will get the football at home in front of an electric home crowd here in Williamson County in week 6, and we're back underway in the third quarter. Touchback. Ravenwood will bring out the offense. And we'll see who they have at quarterback, Bruno. 13 pass yards in the first half. You heard Coach Rodriguez talking about getting that part of their game going. How much do you think the Raptors try to even up that balance?
Well, from the balance standpoint, I mean, they were trying to set that standard early in the first quarter. It was just a misplay from one person, whether it be the receiver or the quarterback. Both quarterbacks had a chance at a series, and both of them sort of fell a little bit short. Maverick Chance was the player that got hot early. Femi Babalola off of the interception did come in and was able to get into the end zone, but we see Maverick Chance as the quarterback to come out of the second half.
Chance is going to hand off on 1st and 10 up the middle across the 20. Not much there for Dowling. Let's go down to the field. Sammy Kincaid with an injury update.
Hey guys, for the Bartram injury law injury update, it is the same as the start of the game. So CPA, no injuries, only one on the Ravenwood side, and that is two-way starter on the line, Cooper Midget. He's out with a torn Achilles. That's your Bartram injury law injury update. Back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Really incredible for CPA to be as healthy as they've been with the gauntlet they've had early in the season. A 1-4 start, but played some of the best teams, not just in Tennessee, but across the country. Chance screens it out to the right side. Cruz Kelly on the catch. Senior receiver, and once again, short yardage for Ravenwood as CPA bows up, and it'll bring up third down.
You mentioned how impressive it is that CPA is healthy. It's just a sign of an incredibly good program. Now, injuries aren't always preventable 100%, but when you have a well-conditioned football team who's coached to keep their head up, run through tackles, not get their legs trampled up because they're stopping their feet, that's why they are so healthy at this point.
3rd and 6. Chance looking to throw. Launches one deep. Man is open. It's caught. Tackled inside the red zone. Taylon Vaughn. And Ravenwood finds its spark in the passing game. 60 yards down the field.
Maverick Chance is the hot hand tonight. He rolls out to the right into a little bit of pressure, steps back into the pocket. Good job by Ravenwood offensive line to keep playing. And you can see on the bottom of your screen, number 14, Taylon Vaughn, the senior receiver, is just wide open. No one around him. Maverick Chance puts everything he has into that throw. Doesn't have a little bit of contact, but able to convert it, and Ravenwood is threatening.
And now the option back into play for Ravenwood. Chance scuttling out of bounds inside the 10. We mentioned 13 passing yards in the first half for the Raptors, 60 on that one play, and they're knocking on the door.
How about 5 times that in one play coming out of the second half? Certainly a message they wanted to put out, and that 3rd and 6 was a good opportunity to get that explosive passing game going.
Both teams seeking some midseason momentum before getting into region play.
An empty backfield here.
Chance escapes one man down at the 5, and it's close to the marker. A 2nd and 4 run will be ruled a first down, Ravenwood. 1st and goal.
They obviously like Maverick Chance and his ability to rush the football. When you get in this 5-to-1 goal line yard situation, it's hard to spread the field out the way Ravenwood wants to. That's why they had an empty backfield right there. 5 down offensive linemen, everyone else spread out. They're trying to spread the defense out, giving Maverick Chance any chance to run the football. But now they're going to have to go through the face of the CPA defense.
Ricky Rodriguez looks on. Handoff. Pace looking for his 2nd score of the night. He's got it. Touchdown, Ravenwood. Six-play drive ends in 6 points. A South College score. South College, where dreams find direction. Student section loves it. Lights are flashing on homecoming, and an extra point will tie it up in the 3rd quarter.
An absolutely explosive series from Ravenwood. Exactly what they wanted coming out of halftime. Looking to tie it up, pinning this extra point.
Guerra knocks it in. Ravenwood trailed 14-0. They're on a 21-7 run since. Tie ball game in Williamson County on My TV 30. We are happy to be at Ravenwood High School on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. That is Dr. Pam Baden, the principal here at Ravenwood, alongside our own Sammy Kincaid down in the field pregame. And we were catching up with plenty of folks downstairs, Bruno Reagan, Lucas Panzica in the booth with you, and having these conversations about this environment. One of the best in the mid-state, one of the best in the state. Bruno, no matter the record, this place is packed week in and week out.
And Ravenwood's just so successful at every other sport on planet Earth too, by the way, so to keep up with anything. They are a staple here in Middle Tennessee, and one of the staples of high school football for sure, taking the CPA team after a 6-play, 80-yard series capped off by that 5-yard rush by Pace.
That opened up the 3rd quarter to tie the game at 21. momentum swings left and right here this evening, and Ravenwood capitalizing on one there. They'll give it back to CPA with a Greenway Kia kickoff. Owen Cabell wearing number 1 back deep to receive. The Alabama commit has been such a threat this season and tonight on those kick returns. And because of that, Guerra will make sure it gets into the end zone for a touchdown. So CPA's offense retakes the field for the first time since an effective 2-minute drill that closed out the first half to take a 7-point lead into the break.
Well, the same way that Ravenwood showed they can be explosive with that pass from average chance to take CPA has shown already this game in the second quarter how explosive they can be, especially with Cabell, Patterson out of the run game. Jack Van Orman, if he can just avoid those critical mistakes and keep his feet on the ground, he can make those same kind of passes.
Van Norman will hand off on first down. Patterson gets loose over the 30 and out of bounds. BMC Metalworks first down for the senior back. The CPA offensive lineman is hobbled after the play, but he'll remain in. That is right tackle, Ben Hale, the junior, as the Lions go tempo. Back with Patterson. On the play. We've talked about it all night. CPA 1-4, strength of schedule among the best, not in Tennessee, but in the country. For a program that is used to winning football games, when you talk about 5 state championships since the year 2018 at the D2 AA level. Bruno, this team has lost, or had lost, 1 game in the last 2 seasons coming into this year. So what does that say about the maturity of this group, taking those 4 losses against elite teams across the country on the chin and just looking to get better with each week?
Well, it's answering the call, too, because they're going up a division. The highest level of Division II football in Tennessee, they need these extra reps.
And Klein is getting a rep here, the senior running back, finding space on the right side across the 35. That'll set up a manageable 3rd down for the Lions. Head coach Ingle Martin started his playing career at MBA across town, Montgomery Bell Academy, where he was teammates with Vanderbilt head coach Clark Lee, as I stand next to a former Vanderbilt Commodore.
And Die Hard. Not all Vanderbilt Commodores are Die Hard. I'm Die Hard.
No doubt about that. And Martin is too, with the amount of Vanderbilt connections with this CPA program. Up the middle, Patterson on 3rd down. Not going to get there, a yard short of 40.
CPA has already gone for it on 4th down this first series of the game. I have to imagine with this field position, they'll have to just punt it away and get good field position. But the offense is staying on right now. Ingle Martin kind of showing his hand like, hey, we're willing to do what it takes. A team that's 1-4, but playing some of the top teams in the country. All the momentum coming into the second half. Ravenwood takes it away. This could be the changing point that CPA needs.
4th and about 1.5 yards. They're going. Van Norman in the gun. Give up the middle. Patterson, he's got it. First down, Lions, presented by BMC Metalworks. The drive will continue on. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid to hear more about this coaching matchup tonight.
Hey, guys, I was over on the Ravenwood side during their last touchdown, and I don't think you're going to see anyone more excited than head ball coach Ricky Rodriguez. He's a football junkie. He told me earlier this week he's been writing book reports ever since 3rd grade every year about coaching football in the South. He gives Saturdays off to his staff so they can enjoy the best event, which he says is college football. And guys, I'm not debating that one. Coach said that when you get a call from a guy like Will Hester, you jump on it. My family wanted to be a part of the program, and that was hard to do in California. And this is special that he gets to do life and intertwine his personal life with his program at Ravenwood. He's quite literally living his dream right now, Lucas and Bruno.
Thanks, Sammy. Yeah, he couldn't be more effusive than just his admiration and passion for high school football in the South. As a guy that grew up in California, by the way, grew up around now Titans head coach Brian Callahan, played at his rival high school, just in that setting of high school football. As no gain on the play, will bring up a 2nd and 10 for CPA. And to Sammy's point, he said 3rd to 7th grade, every book report I wrote was on Friday Night Rivals, the book about high school football in the South. And now here he is leading a 5-0 Ravenwood team in week 6.
One of the best teams in Tennessee. Well done, Coach. Welcome.
Jack Van Norman, quick screen right side. Jefferson Brinson knocked out of bounds. Picks up maybe 2 on the play. It's 3rd and long. Make it a 1-yard gain for 3rd and 9.
And the last thing I'll say about all that, Lucas, is being a football guy in the South, it has nothing to do with identity, race, none of that. It is who you are and what you love. And I'm glad that we have coaches that buy in on. You can see how much these kids buy into it too. James Nelson, one of the best players out in the Ravenwood defense. Him and Matt Anderson, who had another big stop earlier in this series.
Van Norman on 3rd down, quick throw to midfield. If it's caught, it'll still be short. It is complete. Griffin Gagliano, the junior, brings up 4th and 2 for the Lions.
And without question, they're going to go for it. You already went for it on 4th once with worse field position, as we can get a look at. Does he have a name, Lucas?
Oh, you know what? That's bad,
Sorry.
job by me.
No, bad job by me by laying up a bad job to you.
No,
Sorry.
it's not on the chart.
He's not on the depth chart.
I'll tell you what, though, they've had a live action mascot out here at Ravenwood.
I remember. We were here for that live in the Battle of the Borough last year.
Yeah, they've had a Red Hawk swooping around this field pregame before. Here we go, 4th and 2, early movement. Ravenwood celebrates. That is left tackle Isaiah Bryant.
We'll take a look at the left side of the offensive line. It looks like they were going to try and hard count, get Ravenwood to jump. Bryant doesn't get the call. I've been there, young man. You just want to get off the football and fire off.
And this is the type of high school football environment where you almost wonder if a silent count ever comes into play for some of these visiting teams.
Absolutely. It's something you'd have to consider if you're playing against Ravenwood.
The punt bounces inside the 10. Oh, this is excellent work by Reeves Claxton. Down at the 1. So Ravenwood will be backed up, but the defense gets off the field. Tie ball game, late 3rd quarter in week 6 on MyTV 30.
We're thrilled to be talking with Aubrey Burns from BMC Metalworks. Aubrey, how long has your company been tied in with Friday Night Rivals?
We have been a part of Friday Night Rivals for 9 years now, and we just really value that relationship and supporting high school students in as many ways as we can.
Aubrey, if you could, tell us what BMC Metalworks does.
So we are a local family-owned and operated full-service metalworking business serving numerous industries throughout the Southeast. We specialize in design and engineering, CNC machining, steel fabrication, field team services, and even a 24-hour emergency service.
Aubrey, could you tell us where BMC Metalworks is located?
So we are off New Highway 7 in Columbia, just outside of downtown Columbia, and that's south of Nashville. We're on 7 acres, 3 operations building, and spanning over 75,000 square feet of production space.
Now, I understand that this year is a time to celebrate for BMC Metalworks, that there's something big going on.
Yes, we just celebrated our 50th year anniversary, which is such a milestone for us and really such a testimony to our employees and all of our loyal customers over the years. My family has owned the business for 16 of those years, and throughout that time we have just really become a pillar of Middle Tennessee community, particularly Columbia and Murray County, and we're just so proud and honored to be a part of Middle Tennessee.
Well, Aubrey, thank you to you and BMC Metalworks for being a part of Friday Night Rivals and for all of the other great things you do in the communities you serve.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Welcome back to Ravenwood High School, Week 6, homecoming night for the Raptors. Tie game, 21-21 between two state championship contenders in their respective divisions. Glad to have you with us. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you. Sammy Kincaid on the sideline. Ravenwood backed up to their own 1-yard line. Femi Babalola trying to battle his way out of the end zone and does. The Boston College commit at quarterback being called upon to run the football as he alternates with Maverick Chance, the Navy commit at quarterback for Ravenwood. And their head coach told us this week that Femi, with his strength as a passer, has greatly improved as a runner, and vice versa for Maverick Chance.
Absolutely. They play off each other really well. Femi is going to be asked to do something very tough here, which is get those first 2 downs so that way can at least open up some punting room to field it. And then we can start thinking get out and get a big score.
They'll hand off this time on 2nd and 8. CPA responds. And he gives to his running back there, Davis Dolan. A Reeves-Claxton punt, pinning Ravenwood on their own 1-yard line. Trying to dig out of it. The Raptors, since being down 14-0 early, have rallied, outscoring CPA 21-7 since.
Starting from this field position is such a night and day difference, even between 30 or 40 yards. The odds to score are so low.
Babalola in his own end zone wings it out to the right side, and it's a first down completion. That is a BMC Metalworks chain mover, Cruz Kelly. Eagle Martin looking on.
Risky throw. When you're throwing across the field, you can see underneath the linebacker, or excuse me, over the top of the linebacker pressure, just perfectly into the pocket, a nice arc on the ball. Something that can be a little bit dangerous, but it pays off for Babalola, moving the Ravenwood offense forward.
See if that gives Ravenwood some momentum here. Babalola with the deep shot. Broken up and incomplete. Cy Longley, one of Ravenwood's primary targets on the year. Been playing football with Femi Babalola since middle school. 2 CPA defenders trailing the play, getting it done.
I think he missed it too. Cy Longley, I believe, was in the homecoming court. I don't want to say he was king, but I did see that. I was like, hey, he's out there in his pads. We'll take a look at just a little bit under the shoulder. A great job by Crew Chance and Broman Abagnaro. Excuse me. Lucas, how do you pronounce that? Do the young man justice.
Abagnaro.
Thank you.
An all-main candidate this season, no doubt. Handoff on 2nd and 10. And Dolan has nowhere to go, so.
Which one of us graduated from Knoxville and which one graduated from Vanderbilt, by the way?
Let the audience decide. It might be an upset based on that exchange. All right, 67 seconds and counting, end of the 3rd quarter. Ravenwood facing a 3rd and 10. This is Femi Babalola's drive in this 2-quarterback system. Looking for a first down throw. Cruz Kelly makes the snag. And it's spotted just short. Caught at the 25 and out of bounds. So it's 4th and 2 for Ravenwood. Stay with us. The Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game coming up in the 4th quarter. Maybe we haven't seen it yet, as after a little bit of time to make that decision, Ravenwood will punt it away. 10 seconds on the play clock.
From your own 25, this is more than the right choice against a team like CPA.
Jack Henderson with the boot. Again, nobody back deep as it bounces at the 40, and the 3rd quarter comes to an end. Offensive fireworks slowing a bit in the 3rd quarter. A Ravenwood touchdown tying it up at 21, the only points since halftime. 4th quarter on the way on MyTV 30. Fridays at 9:30 or after college football coverage. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. See the biggest plays, the most unbelievable hits. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick brings you highlights, scores, and more for high school football games across the mid-state. Again, Fridays at 9:30 or after college football. Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who we'd like to thank for tonight's financial tips. A frenzy tonight at Ravenwood. And here comes the first snap of the fourth quarter. 21-all between two state championship contenders. Rawls Patterson carries around the right side. And it's a first down run presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. As we welcome you back to Williamson County. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan in the booth, Sandy Kincaid downstairs. Patterson over 100 yards on the night with that 11-yard scamper. He's been a huge part of this CPA offense that has totaled over 300 yards, Bruno, with plays of over 20, 40, and 70 yards. But all of those came in the first half.
Absolutely. He has a chance to be even more explosive in this fourth quarter now that they've softened up the Ravenwood defense a little bit.
How about an explosive play try here? Down the field, broken up. Gabe Cabell, the intended target. The sophomore, who already carries a Vanderbilt offer. Defended by
Wyatt Appleton.
Defended by Wyatt Appleton, thank you.
Yes, sir. Wyatt Appleton has had his number called a few times. Had a good breakup. Ravenwood right before the second half, getting a penalty, so his number is called again. There he stops another explosive play.
Let's go down to the field with Sammy Kincaid.
Hey guys, you're just talking about the Patterson brothers, and well, there's another set of brothers on this team, and it's number 1 quarterback Owen Cabell. He went down with a hamstring injury earlier this season, and little brother, number 25, Gabe Cabell, came in. He got the ball in space, and two fellow sophomores, Dylan Street and Wright Martin, head coach's son, were out there blocking for Gabe, and it was a touchdown that put CPA ahead of Pearl Cone. Gabe is 6'2", 190 pounds, and ran faster than his brother as a sophomore several times when they were running track. Gabe beat him in region, but then big brother Owen, he got the last word, beating his little brother to win state. Both super fast, 10-7, 100 guys. They're very fast.
Thanks, Sammy. Owen, the older brother, committed to Alabama, wearing number 1. Gabe, the sophomore, who certainly will have an opportunity to play D1 college football, and both speedsters, to your point. Early flags here on 3rd and 4.
It's like a lot of movement there.
David White with the call. That one's on Ben Hale, the junior right tackle again.
Yeah, take a look on the left side of your screen. That's the right tackle. Just a little too eager to get out of his set. And you mentioned, Lucas, sometimes the silent count. This Williamson County, it might be, hey, this is a CPA team that's played against supposedly all the best teams around the country. And Ravenwood is the one that might have the best environment to affect the game. I've never heard a stadium this loud in the fourth quarter in Tennessee this year.
The booth is shaking at Ravenwood High School. Van Norman dragged down. Sacked by Sam Rohan, his 5th sack of the season. And Ravenwood gets off the field.
I was wondering when we were going to call Sam Rohan, a name that we've heard a lot over the years in Friday Night Rivals, off that 3-4 defense from Ravenwood. It's hard to get some pass pressure, but he does off the edge. Big play for Ravenwood and a chance maybe to take the first lead.
Reeves Claxton boots it away, gets another favorable CPA bounce, and rolls out at the 20. An impressive night from the CPA punter.
Absolutely. Special teams hasn't played too much of a factor, but it has favored CPA up to this point. All the stats have favored CPA up to this point, but Ravenwood just will not go away.
45-yard punt by Claxton to put Ravenwood right on the cusp of its own 20-yard line. Fourth quarter action, don't go anywhere. The school bus stop of the game. We'll highlight it in moments. Remember, the law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Paid for by NHTSA. We've had a few of those stops in this second half. Maverick Chance now in at quarterback. The Navy commit barreling up the middle. Picks up
Ravenwood not scared to take shots down the field when they have the option. Being efficient like this on first down will certainly give them some more options to do it. 2nd and 5. You have a chance to air it out and still be in a manageable third down position.
Option with the pitch. Chance gets it to Dolan. He picks up maybe 2 on the play.
CPA has been so locked in on the pitch man this entire time. On one of those options, Maverick Chance did have an explosive run down the left sideline when they were going towards the school side of the field. Now, CPA seems to have locked in. They're going to force Chance to bring it back inside to those big bodies that CPA has on their defensive front.
On third down, up the middle, Chance for a Ravenwood team that's just 3 of 7 on third down so far tonight. Now 3 of 8. It's short. And we've seen a lot of these 4th and shorts for both teams tonight. We've seen aggressive decisions, and we've seen decisions like this to punt the football away from these 2 head coaches. Ingle Martin on the left, Ricky Rodriguez on the right. Rodriguez in year 1, Martin in year 15. What a career he's had at CPA after his football career, playing quarterback at Florida, Furman, and into the NFL. 5-time state champion with the Lions. Here they are at 1-4, trying to knock off the 5-0 Raptors in week 6. It'll be down at the 45, and we'll see CPA back out on offense. Game tied at 21, 7.5 to play in the 4th quarter.
Tonight's broadcast of Friday Night Rivals can also be seen streaming live on mytv30web.com, Fox 17 Facebook Live, and YouTube. Brought to you by South College, where dreams find direction.
Getting close to crunch time at Ravenwood High School. 21-21 the score. CPA led 14-0 early in the second quarter. Ravenwood battled back to tie it up at 14. A CPA 2-minute drill took them down the field in the second quarter going into halftime for a 21-14 lead. Since then, the only points of the game have come from a Caden Pace touchdown run from 5 yards out for Ravenwood, and here we are tied at 21. Lions back out on offense. Junior quarterback Jack Van Norman, the first-year starter. Gibbs, Patterson. Man, he battles, just bouncing off tackles as he reaches midfield.
He does such a good job with his offhand, too. He's constantly either leveraging his own balance with it or using defenders to recenter himself. It's just such a high-level thing that not a lot of guys do. They just sort of, two-on-one the football.
114 yards and 2 touchdowns. Van Norman winging it out to the right side. It's broken up. Are they going to rule a turnover here? Looks like it's being ruled incomplete. Dangerous play for CPA. Ravenwood all over it.
Watch number 4, Jalen Pollard on your screen. He just raises by. He's basically a wide open man, and that's a hit you don't want on your star wide receiver, Owen Cabell, the Alabama commit, who has done so well up to this point.
Pollard looking like his dad Bernard, former Tennessee Titan, Baltimore Raven, hard-hitting safety, committed to Western Kentucky.
I love the hit. I love it.
Older brother Miles came through this program playing his college football at Memphis after starting at Michigan.
Another very high-level college football program.
No
Don't
doubt.
sleep on Memphis.
Big win over Arkansas last weekend that Miles Pollard was a part of, as CPA takes a timeout with under 7 minutes to play. 3rd and 5 at midfield. Neither team has found a lot of success offensively. Feels like both defenses have settled in. So how does that kind of set things up for Ingle Martin and his coaching staff?
It's weird. It's uncharted territory because usually this is where you'll see defenses wane. Fatigue can make a coward of us all. And right now, both of them are standing super strong. The explosive plays are surprisingly where both of these teams are finding most of their offensive success. So you got to ask yourself, well, do we start airing it out? If I'm CPA with a guy like Walsh Patterson, though, you got to always remember how efficient he can be. So you have really 2 options, but I would stick with Rawls with how strong he's been in the rushing game. And if I'm Ravenwood, I mean, you have a 2-quarterback system that sometimes alternates, sometimes from the hot hand, sometimes from just a series switch off. So there's still questions for both these teams, and they're going to have to figure out how they're going to respond in these big-time moments, in these big-time games, because this is the midway point going towards playoff time.
UA Local 572 player of the game will tell you who it is coming up in the 4th. Maybe has yet to be determined. Jack Van Norman on 3rd and 5, facing the rush. Bubble screen, Patterson caught but hit into Ravenwood territory. It'll bring up 4th and 2. James Nelson, he has had a night. An interception in the first half. That time a 3rd down stop. Let's see how aggressive CPA decides to be after this.
CPA and Ingle Martin have shown they want to be as aggressive as possible. It's a great job by the Ravenwood defense. They beat so many blockers over the top. Now we're setting up one of the biggest 4th downs of the game. The CPA offense is staying out on the field. Could see a potential timeout with only 12 seconds left on the play clock, and they haven't broken the huddle yet.
Need just under 3 yards to convert. It's getting loud at Ravenwood. And a timeout on the field. That's their second one of the half. And Ingle Martin might need those timeouts later in a tie ball game.
When you get in this situation, though, this is such an important, this down is more important than any down we've played so far. So a timeout here, I would take that over the theoretical, perhaps 2-minute series. And CPA doesn't even necessarily run a dynamic 2-minute offense. They like rushing with walls instead of the big shots. So right here, this 4th down is more important than anything that can come up in the game. It was a good timeout call by Coach Ingle Martin.
What a boost a win for CPA would be here. 1-4 start. We've talked about their strength of schedule. They have faced the best team in Ohio, one of the best teams in Mississippi, the best public and private school teams in Tennessee, with a chance now to knock off a 5-0 Ravenwood squad led by head coach Ricky Rodriguez. Remember that Fridays at 9:30 or after college football, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, will cover all the action, biggest plays with unbelievable hits. Again, Fridays at 9:30 or after college football, Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live with sports director Jill Jones. Fourth and 3. CPA's going. Trying the hard count. Changing the play. Getting louder at Ravenwood. Flag flies. That's going to go against the Lions.
That is a false start. It looked like it was from the backfield. We'll take a look. There is no doubt this Williamson County crowd at Ravenwood High School has an effect on the game. And you can see both the right tackle and 42 in the backfield both jump off sides. There was a lot of, that was Ben Hale also going along with Jefferson Brinson. A lot of frustration out of the CPA offense there.
That will force the Lions to punt it away. Claxton. It bounces out of bounds near the 20. That's got to be so frustrating for CPA. Spending that timeout, only got one remaining and still ended up having to punt. So the Lions send it back to the Raptors. And in a tie game, Ravenwood will take over at home with under 6 minutes to play as you watch Friday Night Rivals on MyTV 30. How can you ask for a better atmosphere at Ravenwood High School? Packed house watching two state championship contenders. The Raptors in Class 6A, the CPA Lions out of D2 AAA. Coming down to the wire on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572 on MyTV 30. Tied up at 21, Ravenwood takes over after forcing the punt. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you upstairs. Sammy Kincaid down on the field. And once again, Bruno, it'll be Femi Babalola at quarterback for Raven.
Femi has led this team to some success this game. He's being asked to give them their first lead of the entire game late in the fourth quarter.
Little handoff up the middle. Maybe half a yard from Caden Pace, who, speaking of legacy players, that's been a common theme tonight. His older brother Carter came through this program, was an excellent running back for the Raptors.
Both of these teams struggling to establish their run game. Ravenwood a little bit more than CPA. CPA having Ross Patterson finding some success, but typically in this fourth quarter, that's where you'll start seeing more explosive runs.
Looking for one in the air here. Babalola going downfield, tipped out of bounds. Incomplete. Looking for Cy Longley.
Babalola likes throwing that across the hash out route, and that's so scary because it gives the defender, if you don't really put a lot of juice into that throw, it can let the defender just hop right in front of it.
3rd and 9. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid. In a little bit.
Back to the field of play.
5:15 to go. Ravenwood with all 3 timeouts. CPA down to 1. And now a timeout is spent.
This could be one of those games, excuse me, Lucas, it could be one of those games where Ravenwood comes out with a win, only leading about a minute or two of it entirely.
Ravenwood takes their first timeout. We'll try Sammy on the sideline one more time.
Hey guys, between Femi Babalola and Maverick Chance in the last 19 games, they've won 18 of those doing what they do at quarterback. So coach said, if it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. So even inheriting this unique system, he's not changed anything about it for the most part. However, Maverick has shown that he can play other positions on the offensive side of the ball. So last week, Femi went 3 series at quarterback because he was rolling, and you've seen him kind of do the same thing tonight. And that is the most unique situation he's ever been a part of, and it works because these are 2 kids that have grown up together, that have played quarterback together on the same team, even at the youth level. And they are just so bought into the culture that they know if they play well together, then they all win in a day and age where it's so easy to see greener pastures and be that guy. Coach said they've been approached by other schools, but they want to stick it out together and for their team. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Both players 3 of 5 passing on the night. Chance with 75 rush yards. That's the difference. But what a story. Growing up together and sharing the reps at this position at such a powerhouse program. Now it's Babalola on 3rd down. Incomplete again. Looking for Longley on the left side of the field.
a lot of visible frustration from the Ravenwood offense there. They have guys open, but it's either a well-thrown ball but a drop, or a ball a foot ahead or a ball a foot behind. Just they've had spurts of success on offense, but not the consistency that we're used to seeing from a powerhouse in 6A like Ravenwood.
So we've seen a lot of action from both punters in this second half. Owen Cabell is back deep to receive. The Alabama commit is going to let it bounce. Out of bounds, and CPA will come right back out onto the field. So interesting how we had all those fireworks in the first half. Game was 21-14, the CPA lead going into the break. Really been a field position battle since.
Yeah, this is where both these teams, it feels like that they've had a big-time player make a big-time play here and there, but they lack a unit of cohesion that we expect out of these teams. And that's what happens when two juggernauts play each other, right? Something's got to give. You have a lot of talent on both of these defenses. If anything, this could be two of the best defenses we've seen on Friday Night Rivals so far, and that's just a tough obstacle to overcome. But one of these teams, by the end of the night, will have to do it.
1st and 10, Rawls Patterson. He's been one of those star players. 100-yard performance, 2 touchdowns to his name tonight. CPA 1-4, Ravenwood 5-0. Both will jump back into region play next week. Ravenwood hosting Independence in Region 6A. CPA hosting Ensworth. Going to NBA. Skipped over one before hosting Ensworth. Again, you talk about a gauntlet of a regular season schedule.
Still good to see it.
We'll be there at that Ensworth game in 2 weeks. Getting ahead of myself. 2nd and 9. Patterson gets the give, disappears under the pile, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Something just looks off with the operation. Like, guys are getting off the balls at weird time. We have tackles that can't hear the snap count. Watch how long it takes for this ball to transfer positions. I don't know if that's one that quarterback Jack Van Orman can even keep, but it looks like it slips out of their hands. Just unlikely things from CPA.
Van Norman will throw now on 3rd down. He's almost got it to Cabell, but it was nearly picked off by Wyatt Appleton, the senior corner. Looked like he might have had Cabell on the money, but the ball just whizzing right past the Alabama commit, and Wyatt Appleton looked like he almost wasn't ready for it.
And that was over, that was over the back shoulder right into the hands of Wyatt Appleton. And I don't mean to put dog on the guy, but whenever I had a friend that dropped it, I would always look at him and be like, hey, I was an O-lineman, so that was just the way I talked to him. I was like, there's a reason you play defense here, all right?
Claxton punts it away, and ball is loose. Body's falling on it. Ravenwood may have rescued the possession there.
What a mental error there to try and field that football. Just let it bounce.
Risky play by Gavin Macias, the junior wide receiver.
Tries to recover it without having his feet underneath him, and it thankfully rolls right back into him. Sometimes the football gods favor you. That's one you won't have to deal with as much.
So here comes Ravenwood once again. And this time it will be Maverick Chance getting his turn at quarterback. Ball spotted on the Ravenwood 26. Chance, play action, flares it out, incomplete. Couldn't get it to his tight end, Charles Block.
That pass has been the entire story for Ravenwood on offense. Either a foot too far, a foot behind the shoulder, just had some explosive plays here and there and throwing it up to some of your best skill players, but the consistency just isn't there. And now you're set up for 2nd and long, somewhere where OCs do not like to be. There's not any good play you can dial up on 2nd and long, especially against CPA. They take away the screens with that 3-down front.
Chance tucks and runs, wheels down the sideline, leaping over a man, and gets it close to the marker. The Navy commit. He's up to 84 rush yards on the day and a touchdown.
This extra
vertical here.
Yeah, this extra effort at the end putting them within 1 yard of the first down might make the difference where a game where both of these offenses are struggling to produce.
I'm going to run it back. Chance battling off of tacklers, moves the chain. The Bart Durham injury law first down for the senior quarterback. 3 of 5 in the air tonight for 70 yards. 60 of those came on one completion. He's gotten it done on the ground game so far as Ravenwood's lead rusher.
Maverick Chance can throw the football, but I don't think Ravenwood can operate a 2-minute drive. Luckily, they have a 2-minute drive as efficiently as someone would want to. Luckily, they have 2 timeouts left.
Chance can't connect. Cy Longley unable to hang on, and the senior wideout would have had the first down. 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you what, if Ravenwood's able to squeak out with this win, they'll be disgusted with what they see on. There's some wins where you have, like, I've won SEC games where we have 170 yards of offense, and we go back and we're like, at least we're not going to get yelled at that bad, but we're still going to need to practice up on some things because these are things that they need to convert.
On the ground, running room on the right side. Nice run by Davis Dolan. The senior back, they really platoon him along with Caden Pace. This is 9th carry for 34 yards. And sets up a 2nd and short. And now they're going to stop and rule it a first down. Spotted at the Ravenwood 49.
Maybe I'm different, but I like 2nd and short because you have that extra down to take with those big shots. But they do get a new set of downs. They are about a yard away from crossing midfield. 2 minutes left on the clock and some change.
Maverick Chance alone in the backfield. Jets along the right side. He picks up about 4. So, to your point, approaching the 2-minute mark, CPA down to 1 timeout. So if you're Ravenwood, how much are you keeping the clock in mind, knowing CPA only has 1 opportunity to stop?
Absolutely. We have 2 options. We're going to win this game off of a walk-off, or we're going to overtime. But CPA cannot get the football back, and we're going to use Maverick Chance and his running ability to at least give us that chance, right? We will not give them this game. We're either going to take it, or we're going to go to extra innings.
Chance up the middle. Cuts across the 45 and across the first down marker down to the 40. And now the Raptors ripping off chunk plays in the run game. 8-yard carry. Maverick Chance a yard away from a 100-yard performance.
Great job by Chance leading this Ravenwood team. Every time they've needed a big opportunity, he's had his number called and he's produced. One thing I would suggest to Ravenwood is don't play for this field goal coming up. Stay aggressive, stay aggressive. You have 2 timeouts. At any point, you can make that decision. But protect the football, move down the field.
Chance, quarterback draw, runs across the 30 and down. He's over 100 yards. And Ravenwood getting into scoring position.
What a great play call. Both of the offensive linemen sealing about a 10-foot hole up the middle, staying on the inside, then turning their shoulders at the last moment, knowing where their quarterback is. Ravenwood going to start taking it slow. They still have 2 timeouts they can work with, so going under a minute isn't the biggest deal in the world.
Carlos Guerra, the senior kicker, 4 of 6 on the season with a long of 45. Timeout on the field. CPA has spent their 3rd and final timeout with 46 seconds remaining.
Again, I don't think Ravenwood should opt to play for the field goal. I think it is the last option. One, you tell your quarterback and all your skill players, protect the football. Wide receivers, no tip balls. Running backs, 2 hands on the football, nothing crazy. Still get productive, give our kicker the best chance. And if we do get within that 10-second mark and we don't want to take that shot, well, we can center it and let our kicker win. But we cannot take our foot off the gas pedal.
Talking to head coach Ricky Rodriguez this week, they really like what they have, and kicker Carlos Guerra said they would attempt one from 52. So from where the ball is spotted now, it would be about a 39-yard field goal. But to your point, I want to make it more of a sure thing than that. Maverick Chance with the opportunity to close this game out. Ingle Martin out of timeouts. Up the middle, Dolan gets the carry. Might have picked up one or two on the play. You immediately saw Chance tapping his chest almost in a my bad motion, as if maybe there was an option there to pull it and run.
It looked like he did want to pull it, but what did I just say? What's first on the flow chart? Secure the football. So if you have to hand that off to be secure rather than go for the big play, that's the smart move.
Timeout Ravenwood. 25 seconds remaining. So one left for head coach Ricky Rodriguez.
I'll tell you what, it's been so loud and so explosive in this stadium all game. I imagine when they go to kick that field goal, we'll be able to hear a pin drop.
CPA led 14-0 at about the midway point of the second quarter. We're in control early before Ravenwood found its spark. Maverick Chance 60-yard completion down the field set up a 4-yard touchdown run by the Navy commit at quarterback. That got Ravenwood on the board. And then a James Nelson interception helped Ravenwood get back in the scoring position for them to cash in. Tied it at 14. CPA was able to sneak in a touchdown before half to take a 7-point lead. Ravenwood had the only touchdown of the third quarter, and here we are, even at 21 in what has been an excellent matchup. The undefeated Raptors, the 1-4 Lions. Maverick Chance trying to lead his Raptors to a walk-off win with a run up the middle to the 25. And with one timeout remaining, that could be the final play before a potential game-winning field goal, and it is.
There will be no icing of the kicker. CPA is all out of timeouts. Ravenwood will come out in about 30 seconds to a minute, line up, and see if they can defend their undefeated record against a team who has gone out of the state to play some of the best teams in high school football, CPA.
This game will come down to the right foot of senior kicker Carlos Guerra to preserve Ravenwood's undefeated start to the season here in week 6. Should be about a 42-yard kick, depending on the hole. Again, his long this season, 45. He is 4 of 6 on the year. Eagle Martin can only look on.
See the Ravenwood crowd telling everyone to be quiet, let their kicker have some focus. The tension is palpable. Excuse me, go ahead, Lucas.
Brooks Brown, the holder. Carlos Guerra kicking right down the middle for the win and a 6-0 record. Flag is down.
Did it go in? False start. 24.
That'll back it up 5. Tough blow for Ravenwood.
Did you see the kick? Did it go in, Lucas? There wasn't a ruling from either of the judges. They were both focused on the penalty.
I have to be honest, I couldn't tell if the ball went through the uprights.
I couldn't tell either. That was on Grant Gullett, the senior offensive lineman.
That turns it into a 46-yard attempt. And this would mark a career high for Guerra. Another flag is down. Ricky Rodriguez livid on the sideline.
False start. Still third down.
Ravenwood is campaigning, saying it should have been on the defense, but it's going to back it up another 5 to set up about a 51-yard field goal.
As long as that movement is behind the line of scrimmage, it's on the offense to stay still. If it goes into the neutral zone and that forces them off, that is on the defense. If the defense yells, like if they go up to try and mimic a cadence, that's not allowed. But if they're allowed to move.
From 51, Carlos Guerra, it is short. And with the game tied at 21, we are headed to overtime. Ravenwood, I believe, wanted a roughing call as Guerra went to ground. And we're headed to OT.
Regardless, there's a lot of emotion on the field. What do I always say, Lucas? It's time for both these teams to get back to the middle. You can see a lot of visible frustration on Ravenwood. They're still on the sideline. The coach is having to put them back, and a lot of arguing with the refs on a potential roughing the kicker. CPA is absolutely ecstatic on the series of events.
What was a 42-yard attempt turned into a 52-yard attempt for Carlos Guerra, and CPA has new life. Frustrating moments to end the game here for Ravenwood, who was able to shut out CPA in the third and fourth quarters.
Ravenwood has not led the entire football game. If they scored that field goal, they would have walked it off with 0-0 on the clock.
CPA at 1-4, seeking their first win since week 2, a 42-34 victory over Pearl Cone. So, as we get ready for the coin toss before the extra period, both teams will get possession on the 10. Think college football overtime rules, but instead of the 25, on the 10-yard line. And just like in the college game, once we reach a third OT, after a touchdown, teams will have to attempt a 2-point conversion.
Both these teams having success in the red zone, especially the deep red close to the goal line, have to imagine that both these offenses will be chomping at the bit.
And unlike the college game, we don't have the dueling 2-point conversions that have been a controversial move by the NCAA in recent years.
I'll never forget winning a football game. I forgot what game it was. It might have been Tennessee. Sorry, Lucas. But then we were watching LSU, someone else, and they were at LSU, Texas A&M, and they were in 7 overtimes or something, trying to decide which bowl game we were going to go into. We were just waiting to go out and have a good time. Had to sit back and watch that game.
That is the game that ended up prompting the NCAA to change the overtime format. So they saw maybe the most thrilling college football game in the last number of years and said, well, we can't have that.
Yeah.
On to overtime. Ingle Martin on the left, Ricky Rodriguez on the right, and this just feels like how a game like this is supposed to end.
This is awesome. I don't even have a TD word to say it. This is awesome. The stakes couldn't be higher for both these teams. CPA, they desperately need a win just to kind of restore that confidence, let themselves know that they're at that level. Ravenwood, just so successful with this 2-quarterback system, 18-1 up to the point with Maverick and Babalola. Now they have a chance to extend that winning streak against a team like CPA. It's just such a good night of high school football in Nashville.
Only the third meeting between these programs. They played a home-and-home back in 2019 and 2020. CPA won the last meeting, a 31-23 win in 2020. Both programs with state championship standards, their eyes on a trophy at the end of the season. But the focus right here and right now for a Week 6 win, homecoming night at Ravenwood High School.
It'll be first and goal.
So coin toss.
And from that point on, we won't toss the coin anymore. If we play additional overtime periods, we'll alternate the choice. So whoever loses the toss for the first overtime will have the choice for the second. If we make it to second. Okay. Here's a coin I had to start the game. That's tails, and that's tails. Tails is the call. If I drop it, I'll flip it again. And it is tails. You win the toss.
You want to be on defense.
You want to be on defense. Okay. Which end of the field do you want to play on? No. Okay. Give me Ravenwood down. Oh, no. Give me CPA down there and Ravenwood up here. CPA. Directed to play game. Ravenwood has directed to play assistant from the 10-yard line.
Raptors will get the first crack at it. Overtime in Week 6. This is what high school football is supposed to be. Friday Night Lights in Williamson County. on the Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals, presented by UA Local 572. Lucas Panzica, Bruno Reagan with you, Sammy Kincaid on the sideline, taking you to the end of this thrilling finish between one of the best private schools in Tennessee in Christ Presbyterian Academy and one of the best public school programs in the state in Ravenwood. Is momentum a factor here with that frustrating end to the game in regulation for Ravenwood, the back-to-back penalties that made it a 52-yard field goal attempt?
For lesser teams, I think it would be. For this offense especially, you see who gets the first call. Femi Babalola stepping up into the backfield. I think they're chomping at the bit to right this wrong.
Maverick Chance is lined up as a receiver, wide to the left. Here he comes in motion. Babalola will carry, cutting across the 5, down near the goal line. So defense with eyes on Chance, who's more of a runner, and Babalola capitalizes to make it 2nd and goal for 1.
What a great job to get both those guys on the field. Obviously some packages earlier when Babalola was the only quarterback playing at the time in that position. And a great cut to get upfield and set up. 2nd and maybe 2.
Both Babalola and Chance in the backfield again. It'll be Femi over the goal line. Touchdown Ravenwood. In 2 plays, the Raptors strike first in the extra period. Homecoming crowd loves it. It's a South College touchdown where dreams find direction.
It is a team effort, and Maverick Chance brought this team back in regulation, and Femi Babalola in overtime gives Ravenwood their first lead outside of regulation.
Carlos Guerra to make it a 7-point overtime advantage. Knocks it through, and CPA needs a touchdown. A flag is down late on the extra point. Ravenwood celebrating.
It looks like it's going to be on CPA, an unsportsmanlike penalty, waiting the official call from our white hat.
David White will confer with Ravenwood head coach Ricky Rodriguez. This will be a huge blow to CPA.
Not all mistakes are created equal, and a mistake in this phase of the game will surely be harsh.
Number 3 of the defense. Ravenwood for the penalty to be succeeding spot. It will be 1st and goal.
Barely clips the kicker at the end of the dive. You have to attack the point of the kick, not anywhere the kicker's going to be, and a decent sell there too, by the way. Big time play. Ravenwood has all the momentum, and CPA is going to have to start with terrible field position. They have 4 downs to cover 25 yards and get to the end zone.
Now it's a little more like the college football. Backed up from the 10 to the 25, needing a touchdown to force a 2nd overtime. It's loud here at Ravenwood. Jack Van Norman from the gun gives to Patterson, and he probes across the 25 and can't get to the
20. CPA has 3 downs left, and field goal does nothing for them. They have to get into the end zone with 3 more downs. They only cover 4 of the 25 yards on the first play.
See if they put it in the air.
Ravenwood sideline asking their crowd to get even louder.
CPA also unable to get a 1st down.
Absolutely. They have 3 plays left. That is all they have to get into the end zone. You have to imagine that they'll call the number of Jack Van Orman.
The officials will take a timeout here. Both teams will head back to the sideline. Injured player. Tell you who it is as we get a look here. Looks like a cramping situation. make sure we have an accurate read on the number before we relay it to you. So CPA, as they will help up James Nelson, who's had a great performance tonight, the Ravenwood corner. 2nd and goal, ball on the 22. Like you just said, can't get the first down. They have 3 plays needing a touchdown.
They start first down with Walls Patterson. A good call. Usually he can make a bounce and move, maybe collect all those yards you lost on the personal foul. That was the roughing the kicker against CPA, but he only gets 4. Now you have 3 downs. I think you just have to give all of them to your junior quarterback, Jack Van Orman.
If you're Ravenwood, how much attention are you paying to number 1, Owen Cabell, lining up wide right, the Bama commit?
Well, you can see right here they have the cover 2 setup, and I assume they're telling that safety back there that's playing that pocket, watch number 1 more than anybody.
Jack Van Norman throwing that way. It's caught by Cabell. He's spun down at the 5. The future Alabama Crimson Tide receiver has had a big night. 7 catches, 168 yards. CPA has 2 plays to get into the end zone.
Man, you called it, Lucas. What, number 1, where's Cabell? And both of the safeties, they're currently in their back pedal. And he's that number 5 for Ravenwood, Hudson Husak, he's man. And he's just going to get cut on the inside every time without safety coming down help. Now they have 2 downs from the 5 to convert.
Van Norman on 3rd and goal. Throws, fade, far side, incomplete. Couldn't connect with Cabell.
Good coverage by James Nelson and an uncharacteristic drop by Cabell. It looked like he had that football coming on the way down. We'll take a look. Creates separation, and it is just off of his fingertips, Lucas.
Comes down to this. CPA needs a touchdown. Timeout on the field.
Have the stakes ever been higher for a play on Friday Night Rivals? Probably not since I've been here.
CPA spends the timeout they get in the extra period. Ravenwood 5-0, CPA 1-4. And we've talked about it all night. Losses against the best public school team in Tennessee, the best private school team in Tennessee in Baylor, the best team in Ohio in Archbishop Moeller, one of the best teams out of Mississippi, a gauntlet of a schedule that has continued into tonight. And the Lions need a touchdown to avoid a 1-5 start to the season before they travel to Montgomery Bell Academy and region play next week. Rolling, looking, throwing, incomplete. Ravenwood wins, and the Raptors stay unbeaten. Final score in Week 6, Ravenwood 28, CPA 21. A battle to the death, and the Raptors are 6-0. CPA falls to 1-5. What a game here on homecoming night at Ravenwood High School.
Back and forth, both of these teams facing adversity. Ravenwood at the end comes out on top. As we take a look at the last play with Van Orman moving out to the side. He has a few bodies, but it's just well covered and good pressure by Ravenwood. Ball gets in the hands, and that was a pass to Dylan Streeter. Hit on the back shoulder. It is no good. Ravenwood at no point in the game led in regulation. Ravenwood never led in regulation. They force overtime, get the ball first, punch it in easily with Femi Babalola and Maverick Chance both on the field at the same time. CPA, they get a roughing the kicker penalty on the extra point, and it backs them up so much.
Let's look at the school bus stop of the game as Ravenwood gets the win.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
That defensive stand might have won it, but this is the play that turned it around, Bruno, the James Nelson interception that Ravenwood cashed in for 6.
Absolutely, a mistake you have on your own side of the field. This is right before halftime, too, giving Ravenwood new life where they were on 2 scores. This started the entire momentum switch for Ravenwood. It looked like CPA was all up until this point.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
What a ball game here in Williamson County. Not much more you can ask for as Ravenwood gets the victory. We will hear from winning head coach Ricky Rodriguez in a few moments. But first, let's get to our play of the game presented by the Tennessee Army National Guard. And here it is, the game winner. Or excuse me, no, we're going with the touchdown to Weston Williford. One-handed snag. That gave CPA the 21-14 lead going into halftime. Highlight reel play for the Lions, who battled to the end tonight, but Ravenwood in the end gets the win. Let's go down to the field, but first, we'll be right back as we present our post-game trophy and give you our player of the game. Ravenwood stays unbeaten in a 28-21 overtime win. Ravenwood winners tonight in overtime over CPA 28-21. Let's go down to Sammy Kincaid, who's alongside Ravenwood head coach Ricky Rodriguez, the entire football team, and what looks like the entire student body out here on homecoming night.
Yeah, there's a lot of people behind us right now because there's a very special tradition. But before we get to that tradition, Coach, congratulations. And what do you think it is about this team that was able to push through and get this one the way they did?
I mean, take a look around at all this. Like, this is what high school football is all about. I mean, these young men, they're just special. I've said it since week one. This team is different. It doesn't matter what situation you put us in. These kids are so resilient that I always have confidence in them that we're going to come out on top. And it's just, I am so freaking proud of you guys.
Very proud of them, Coach, and I know you're very proud and really excited to get to this tradition, which is what high school football is all about. So here's your trophy. You can celebrate with your team.
Let's go! Hey, hold on.
Ravenwood High School, the place to be tonight In Williamson County, the Raptors win 28-21, getting the stop they needed in overtime to improve to 6-0 on the season. And they will move on next week back into Region 6A play. They will host Independence, and they are ringing the bell here at home after a win over CPA. They'll look to do the same against the region rival a week from tonight. CPA will be on the road to MBA looking for their second win of the year. The gauntlet continues, but the Lions a good football team, and that should be a battle next week as well. We will see them in a couple weeks when they take on Ensworth in what should be a thriller in D2 AAA. But for tonight, it's about the Ravenwood Raptors. And let's talk about our player of the game. And it's got to be 0 on the back of the jersey. The Navy commit, Maverick Chance. The hot hand tonight, not in the air, but on the ground. Bruno, 114 yards and a touchdown.
Absolutely. Maverick Chance. We mentioned that our player to watch coming in for Ravenwood was his counterpart, Femi Babalola, and both of them were in on that overtime drive. But you see, this was the first explosive play when he kept on that keeper for the read. He was able to get it over the air, too, for some explosive plays. You see only 3 passes completed, but for 70 yards when they needed it most. 15 carries for 114 yards. The senior quarterback is our UA local player of the game.
Gutsy performance by the future Navy midshipman, our player of the game. As you said, presented by UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. Well, we came in expecting a thriller, and we got one. The Raptors improved to 6-0, and we hope you'll join us next Friday for what should be another good one in a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Rivals, October 2nd. It's a Region 3 showdown. The Blackman Blaze head to Stewart's Creek to take on the Redhawks. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on MyTV 30 Sports. And all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard, UA Local 572, and Sonic, who, through their contributions to the program, make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our 2025 Friday Night Rivals telecasts. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, Bart Durham Injury Law, South College, Wilson Bank and Trust, Western Kentucky University, Greenway Kia, Josh Houston and Associates. And we would especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Christ Presbyterian Academy and our host, Ravenwood High School. From our partner Bruno Reagan and Sammy Kincaid down to the sideline, our entire crew, I'm Lucas Panzica. The final score tonight in overtime, Ravenwood 21, 28, CPA 21.